You're watching the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent and Austen Show.
Well, there it is. The 2025 draft class of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Significant because you hope, obviously, there are a bunch of players in there that change the team and the outlook of this franchise. Obviously, Travis Hunter is still the headline of maybe the entire draft, but also significance because this is on the resume now of James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, and Liam Cohen in this brand new front office. And they are stuck to a plan, it seems like. What are the traits that they were looking for? Do you have a different definition now for intangibly rich and what that means? Because this now sets the table for probably what kind of team they want to build going forward. And the tricky part is, outside of Travis Hunter, we really don't know these guys that well, right? I mean, we feel like we know Travis Hunter, but we don't know the personalities and the makeup of these other guys other than their traits from the scouting combine or other tape and everything else. So one thing's for sure, I think, jumps out at me right away is it looks like the Jaguars wanted to get faster on their football team, and Austen Lane, I think they did.
Yeah, speed was a big thing. I'm still with the whole production thing, though. Like, that's where I think that we're talking about. I think Caleb Branshaw is a little bit of the wild card, but I think, like, what did you think when they made that pick? Did you have any initial thoughts?
Well, I can't say I was like one way or another. I was a little surprised I didn't know if we were going cornerback right away, but then they said they're moving him to safety.
Yeah.
So then once they move him to safety, I'm like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. And then the thing that I liked about it is I don't know if they necessarily needed to go to safety with their second pick of this draft, right?
Yeah.
They could have gone running back. They could have gone some other spot, whatever they wanted to do. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, that shows that they're sticking to a plan. They're going to get a player. Maybe it's BPA, however they want to profile the player. So I thought that was really, if I remember, what stuck out to me Friday night was like, okay, that tells me they don't necessarily need this guy right away, but they want to start building players like this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. When they first selected him, I was kind of baffled because, like, if you look at what he's good at and what he's not good at, like, this guy's not much of a man coverage dude.
That's right.
And if you want to break down Green Bay's defense last year, well, they were third in man coverage. You want to break down Philly's defense last year, Vic Fangio, they were seventh in man coverage. So, like, one would assume, the Jaguars, they're going to run a lot of like crazy looks, but it's going to be the base of man coverage. So then when they drafted him, I'm like, well, I don't know how this guy is going to play. I get it, like, he's a downhill attacker, he's a great tackler, everything like this, but where does he fit in this system? And then they kind of said he might be playing safety, and then I'm like, all right, there's the light bulb. Now, should you have spent that pick out of safety? I mean, if he can come in right away and make an immediate impact, why not? But I was confused of what the plan was until you kind of got the vibe that it's going to be a safety.
Well, I'll tell you one other thing, and I don't think it was just this player that entered my mind a little bit. And this is where I think you get to the intangibly rich stuff, and you're like, okay, Austin's big on production, and you put that in my mind, and that's cool. I have a little bit different interpretation of intangibly rich. It doesn't mean one's right, one's wrong. We both probably collectively could be correct. But this guy, to your point, was not a pickoff machine, right? Like, he wasn't a turnover machine. He's a sure tackler, excellent athlete. And so then you start bringing in some measurables to play. And then they get Tootin in the fourth round. He's like fastest guy at the combine. And what stuck out to me was like, oh, wait a minute, we don't care just about 40 times at the combine, right? Yeah. Remember that comment? That's why we might not go there very much. We want to see the tape. And then to the fairness of Gladstone, he did say that 40 time matches up with the game tape and the game speed as well. Yeah. So, okay. But I really thought outside of long arms, these guys went after a high-quality athlete, which really isn't that different than what Bulky was trying to do, in my opinion, right? Or even a Caldwell was trying to do. They're trying to get supreme athletes or better athletes. Like, and by the way, you're not going to reinvent that. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking about a 1% league. Even the worst of GMs, in your opinion or anybody's opinion, are trying to get supreme athletes that stick out. But the Jags definitely in this class got supreme athletes from Travis Hunter on down.
No, without a doubt. I mean, what did Tootin average per rush? Isn't it like 6 point something? Which is like crazy.
Crazy production. We just didn't know it. Nobody knows about him. He played at Virginia Tech, who's what?
I didn't really know. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Virginia Tech games last year. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, like the dude, It's exciting. I wonder what the plan's going to be with that, because I think that's the guy that you got to play right away.
I think they will.
So then,
too,
is he taking away Etienne's reps? Is he taking away Bigsby's reps? Like, how's that rotation going to work?
I don't know that exactly, right?
Yeah.
But I think these guys are coming in here. That guy specifically is coming in here to compete. I think they were eyeing a running back really soon, even in the third round. I think they had a couple in mind, and then, does it fall? Maybe is it an R.J. Harvey or somebody like that Denver scooped up pretty early, right at 60?
Yeah, he was 60.
And there were some rumors that the Jags were even trying to trade up with Denver. Did you see that like Friday night?
Genty? Or was it? Oh, no, Friday night.
No,
okay.
Friday night. Friday night, there were some rumors, like some smoke out there, at least, that they were trying to trade up. And was that maybe one of the reasons they sensed that, like, Harvey was going to go to Denver? They were the team interested. I don't know. I'm just kind of piecing the puzzle together. Could that have been? But the bottom line is, first pick, third day, they say, okay, running back. But I also like this. That shows me they're not reaching a little bit, if that is the case. Like, if they wanted to get running back pretty early to create more competition in that room and upgrade. Because the bottom line is this. They were going Genty at number 5 if it wasn't Travis Hunter. If they don't move up to get Travis Hunter, they were going Genty. So they obviously wanted to upgrade the running back room. Yeah. And it was a deep running back class. So I think all those things put together say, hey, Tank Bigsby, Travis Etienne, it's go time, and you got reps to earn. Yep. Don't you think?
No, without a doubt. I mean, it could be literally a training camp battle a little bit. The cream's going to always rise to the top. Now, depending on what type of scheme Liam Cohen wants to cook up for them a little bit, like, I think Tank Bigsby might be behind the 8 ball a little bit, just because he's not much of the pass catcher. He's more of the between the tackles power runner. But, that's a good guy to have when it's 4th and 1. That's a good guy to have when it's short distances. So I think each guy's going to have their role, but now, like, Tootin you bring in, it's like, that's the home run dude. Like, that's the guy that if he gets out in open space, he's gone.
Yeah, and listen, Travis Etienne's a fast guy, too. And Bigsby showed the ability to have big runs. Remember, it was like a bunch of 18, 20-yard runs early in the season. So I don't necessarily think that this is an indictment on those guys completely. I do go back to the fact that they like the two backs. Like Cohen mentioned the two backs. But I also go back to our conversation the last couple of weeks as it heated up on Genty, that there's no doubt an upgrade ability here in the backfield of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it's kind of funny here, Austin, for me, and Hamby. We went from Friday, coming off the Travis Hunter stuff, where we thought they were getting Genty if they don't move to Hunter. Yeah. And pretty much they were going to get Genty if they don't move to Hunter. And I said on Friday, who's the biggest winner? I was like, well, the biggest winner of the draft is Etienne and Bigsby. Sure. Because you don't get Genty. But I come out of the weekend thinking, not so fast, right? Like, I'm not sure they're the biggest winner here. I don't necessarily think they're the biggest loser. I mean, it is a 4th-round running back. I mean, he's got a lot to earn, too. Sure. But I think it puts them on notice a little bit. It's like, hey, and they also got another guy in the 7th round. And that is, we'll see what it is. But are they trying to rebuild that room? And when a guy comes in here and says, we're going to run the football, we're going to run the football, we're going to run the football, and then they back it up with a 4th-round running back, basically in a top 100 pick, and they were going to get the guy in the 5th pick. I mean, again, practicing what you're preaching. They want to be able to run the football. And if Etienne and Bigsby don't get it done, they're going to have other options.
Do you think that Tootin was more of a Gladstone pick or Liam Cohen pick? I mean, I get the collaboration, but
I think it's a Cohen pick.
I do as well. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of like the whole Bucky Irving thing of last year. I think that, it's just it's a dynamic playmaker that you can incorporate in your offense. Like, I forgot, like, what I know Bucky Irving was a lot slower than what Tootin is, but I just think
I was I'll tell you this, guys, and you tell me if you're surprised at all by this, but I was a little bit, when I thought they were going to get running back, I didn't know they'd go to the speed element so much. I'm thinking in my mind 3rd and 1, right? 4th and 1, like be able to get that like fall forward guy. And even Genty, who's got home run potential there, he's still that fall forward guy, not a negative run guy. Remember we talked that with Maurice Jones-Drew. Yep. And I'm not saying this guy is either. I just think now this guy screams speed to me, but he's not a scat back. Like, I think we have these perceptions, right? Like 3rd down back, small.
He's 205.
He's big enough to do it. So I think this is just adding more beef competition opportunities. And what I always say, and knock on wood, that is a position that, quite frankly, gets hurt quite a bit in the league. So you really need to have depth. You can't be lean there. I think they're already crazy for having been lean at the pass rush spot the way they've been lean. But you really don't want to be lean in the running back spot because you're going to lose some games, most likely, in quarters and halves to injuries when it comes to your running back, and the Jags have over the last couple of years.
When you mentioned the pass rush spot, thank God we got somebody, because that was the biggest question out of this draft for me is, are we not seeing something? Like, is there a guy on this roster that we're not really talking about who can come in and be that depth guy and provide a lot of production, if you will? And they obviously addressed that in free agency after the draft then.
That doesn't that make
it
feels good, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel good? And listen, he's 31 years old. He's 31 years old.
Sure.
I don't know what he's going to do, but it feels good that they made an immediate move too. It's not like they said, "Oh, let's wait till Labor Day," and because that's where I think a lot of this stuff kind of happens, or training camp time. It's like, no, okay, we got a plan. If guy doesn't fall to us, or if it doesn't match up on the board, we've got a plan. Obviously, a guy who's played under Campanile. And this will be our option. And by the way, 47.5 sacks. He had 5 sacks. I think that's what you're looking for out of that position, right? A 5 or 6 sack guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why a lot of fans were pretty pleased about it, especially because it was like Gladstone pivoted, right? It was like his idea for the draft was to take edge, and he was asked about it. He pretty much said, yeah, it didn't fall our way, so we'll go address it immediately in another area. It wasn't just, we didn't get our guy, and that's it. I think, to be able to sign that guy, Ogbah, what was it, 2 hours within the conclusion of the UDFA list? Like, they had a unique plan for it shows you, first of all, that they didn't reach for anybody.
Yeah, it tells me that.
And that they knew it was a position of need that they had to make their big priority.
Yeah, and listen, I think they knew they had to beef up the defensive line, but they weren't going to your point, reach. I think it showed the word of all the phrases that, and I like the phrases, some people don't, of Gladstone, but the one that I think people sleep on is this discipline phrase or word. I think, hey, we're going to be disciplined about what we believe in and everything else. And I think the draft is the ultimate test of that, because you can really we all want to do it. We're like, go get the edge guy. Go get the edge guy. Man, coming out of the gate Saturday morning, like, okay, they're going to go get an edge guy, right?
Yeah, where's Sawyer at?
Right? Yeah, where's Sawyer, all these other guys. And you're in. Nope, no edge. It's like, well, that's a discipline, I think. I think that's an example of it, them not to do it. So I guess, what do you come out of this draft now thinking, like, what are they still missing? And I guess to further your point, Austen, it's like that defensive interior, they believe in it a little bit more than everybody else, right? They're going to give Mason Smith a shot. They're going to give Jordan Jefferson a shot. And they've got 2 big dollar guys now, Devon Hamilton and Eric Armstead, who are going to have to play and perform for them. And then you hope you develop the young guys behind them.
Well, and granted, too, I think the scheme-wise, I think they believe in what Campanelli's going to do, where he's going to get the best out of them. I think a lot of this draft, honestly, is a testament. And we talked about this before the draft started. I think it's a testament to what Ryan Nielsen brought to the table, and maybe how, he wasn't didn't do that. I mean, we knew he didn't do a great job, but maybe we underestimated just how bad it truly was.
Yeah.
So I think with the draft result of the interior defensive line, I think the draft result of the edge, and now you bring in a guy in free agency, and Ogbah. I think it shows, like, hey, we trust in Campanelli. We trust what he's going to do. He's going to elevate these players. The scheme's going to work for them, and we're going to be a much better defense because of it.
My big question on why they didn't take defensive interiors, what does that say about how Mason Smith was used last year? Does that kind of give you any implications of some behind-the-scenes stuff of why he wasn't played game in and game out?
Why was Eric Armstead playing defense? I think it's the totality. I think a lot of guys weren't being used to the best of their abilities.
Yeah, listen, there was stuff with Mason Smith, and I don't think it was always. It might have been the back and forth, the give and take, the who should, who shouldn't play. I mean, listen, there was a weight issue at one time with Mason Smith throughout the year where that wasn't
Well,
these you know how it is,
Brent,
right? You got to make weight.
They're
right?
playing paper, rock, scissors too to see who goes in on the sidelines. That's all you need to know.
Well, I know,
Like,
but I'm just saying it wasn't necessarily only the. I think there was something on the he had to get himself right too. Part of being like a pro and all those things.
Yeah.
And now, how much of that was fair or unfair, I don't know. But I mean, at one point he wasn't playing a little bit because
he wasn't paper, rock, scissors.
Well, because he wasn't meeting the weight.
Yeah.
Requirement and stuff like that. So doing the things that you're supposed to do. And I mean, Austin knows this, like each guy, right? Every day, basically you weigh in. And if they want you at a certain whatever, again, I'm not telling you that's right. That might've been a Nielsen problem, might've been a Doug Peterson problem, might've been a Trent Baalke problem. There might've been some conflict for sure. I would say that's fair to say on Mason Smith, how to use him, where to use him, how much to use him. And once again, that just shows lack of alignment and a little bit of tug of war that was going on and some of that toxicity that can exist. Even if it's not loud sometimes. But I think there's a myriad of things. I don't think it's one thing with Mason Smith, but the bottom line is he didn't get in there until the last handful of games. And when he did, he actually splashed and made some plays.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I shared the locker room with a guy who, his weight was always in question too as well with Terrence Knighton, a.k.a. Pot Roast. And like there was very strict stipulations where if he was a couple pounds over during the week, that'd be a giant fine. And like him and Joe Cullen would literally just go back and forth over this, man. Like verbal, and when I say verbal, more on Joe Cullen's part than Terrence Knighton's part, but just yelling and nonstop. So yeah, I mean, it is a deal, and I think every coach kind of handles that situation differently. Every position coach does on the defensive line, and that could have been a major issue. But once again, I'm just gonna go back to my point. If you're playing paper, rock, scissors to see who goes in the game, I think there's really no rhyme or reason for a lot of the play. The guys playing up, guys playing down, guys playing defensive end. There's no rhyme or reason for it.
Yeah, if you go back to last year, first of all, this started to come up in London when he was basically not even active.
Yeah, because we were questioning you spent that draft pick on him. What are we doing?
He was inactive, and that was where at least what I've heard was some of the weight stuff started to happen. But then you mentioned the paper, rock, scissors stuff, and obviously is what it is and not a great light. But I think it represents something that we also said last year during this regime at times, both on the offensive side and on the defensive side. It felt like they were grasping at things. They were they didn't have a good plan for an answer. They weren't confident or in their solutions and their plan, all this other stuff. And so it just started okay, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. We had those conversations on this show during the season last year. It's it feels like they are just okay, now let's try this one. Right? And that could have been from Brian Thomas Jr.'s productivity to Mason Smith's playing time to what you're doing with Cisco and Wingard and, I mean, a myriad of things. It just felt like, holy cow. I mean, they just are not convicted in anything they're doing right now, and this really looks like they're just throwing stuff against the wall. That's what made last year so bizarre in many respects. And since we're on last year, I'll address this real quick because I think it's interesting, and I want to get your take on it. There's somebody on Twitter that I quote tweeted this weekend, and I saw, it's I'm already tired of the phrases, the AI phrases, the robotic phrases. And some people were, this person wasn't alone. And I responded with, to me, that is where the elite communication comes in. To me, that's an example of the communication. We know in 2 months what these dudes are all about, or at least profess to be all about. Yeah. And we can all spit it back out. We can spit it back out, and we can put it on a shirt. But yeah, we can spit it back out right away. And part of my comment there, and this, listen, I'm not trying to crush Doug years later, but I mean, we brought this up in real time, and again, I'll bring up London. I know exactly where it was. I know we're in that little glass room, green room area, and I asked him, what's your identity? What's the identity of this football team? And we're what are we, 5 weeks into the season, 6 weeks into the season? And go back and listen to that answer. Go back and find that answer. And it's literally 3 to 4 minutes, and I'm not sure I heard an answer. To me, when you ask an identity of something, or an identity of our Action Sports Jacks department or whatever else, it's boom, boom, boom. It's you know what it is. Mm-hmm. It's your mission statement. It's 15 words. It's 10 seconds. It's what you're all about. And Doug really couldn't answer that. And I was that was kind of stunning to me. So how are you supposed to know who you are as a football team if the head coach really can't just say, boom, 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 we're this. And is that his fault? Is that Bulky's fault? Is that a combination's fault? I don't know. But what I'm saying is we kind of know what these guys are all about right now. I think we know what Cohen's all about. We know what it's going to look like. He wants to run the ball. It's players over plays. Hey, he's got to echo that. He's got to act that way, right? He's got to say all those things, but also do all those things. Well, this was James Gladstone's opportunity to say all the things he said and then be able to act on it. And, I mean, it looked like he did. He was bold with the Travis Hunter move.
Yeah.
And he went out and got these guys that do look, I mean, heck, all the way down to the Navy guy. Like the Navy guy, kid, Rayon Lane, is a cool story. And you want to go intangibly rich. I mean, whatever comes to your mind intangibly rich, you go get a young man from the Navy. And, man, that guy brings something to your building, right? So I just feel like, and by the way, Tony Baselli, transparency. I mean, I talked to Tony again on Friday. I was like, I still couldn't get over how transparent and how good he was with us on Thursday.
Yep.
Like, people don't do that on draft day. And the Jags put something else out over the weekend where they're sharing, like, the walk-around where they finalized the deal, like, 2 days before with the Cleveland. This organization's being transparent. They're letting you in. They're like, hey, we're not paranoid. We're not. So, listen.
Well,
0-0 is the record. Fully understand, but this is what we got. And so far, I think they're off to a way better start than it's been around here.
So here's how I looked at, and this is more talking about James Gladstone. I absolutely loved the press conference talking about Travis Hunter.
The opening statement?
Opening statement.
Yeah.
That was great. But here's what I fail to realize sometimes because I live in a bubble. I cover the Jaguars. Yeah, I'm a Jaguars fan. I played for the team. So it's always like, it's Team Jaguars. But I don't see it from the national perspective. A bunch of my friends text me after the James Gladstone thing where he went on like NFL Network, I think, and talked about Hunter. And my friends texted me this and they go, how arrogant and how cocky is your GM? And I go, what are you talking about? And they're just like, listen to him. Like, this is his first go around here. And he's acting like he just, won a Super Bowl. And things like that. So then I took a step back and I looked at it and I'm like, all right, I can see kind of their point because here's what it is. There's been a lot of new GM hires around the NFL this year. Raiders got one, right? Jets got one. I forgot New Orleans? I can't, whatever. But there's been a couple new GMs.
At least those couple.
There's been a couple new GM hirings. Nobody knows who the GM of the Raiders is on a national level. I have Google it. Spy Tech. Okay, cool. Everybody knows who James Gladstone is because he's put himself out there. Now, when you put yourself out there, that's fantastic. You just got to back it up. But if you don't, then that leaves you, subject for criticism. So no, I'm not mad at it. I'm not hating on all the quotes and all the drawn out TED Talk speeches. But the one thing you can say about it is putting a little bit of a target on your back now.
Yeah,
because people know who you are.
I would agree. I get exactly what you're saying here too, and I understand, and I can take that back from what your buddy said, and from the outside looking in. I think right now we like it in town because it's so refreshing.
And
it sounds different,
of course,
and it is confident. And by the way, you like the fact that it's a new regime, so let's go. But everybody's on board now. Your friends in Wisconsin don't need to be like that.
But Hamby, just real quick though, people see I see confidence. People can see cockiness.
Absolutely.
It's a fine line.
Here's the other thing, though. There's going to be a natural deal for this guy to come across as cocky, arrogant, because he's 34 years old. Yep. He looks like he's 18. And so people naturally are like, what the hell is this guy?
No, for sure.
Like that's naturally, when you're young and you're a little bit of a trendsetter, they're second youngest GM of all time? Like that is going to come with a little bit of that natural criticism. But again, I think the fact he is not just talking to your buddies in Wisconsin, the people in the NFL, or us. When he's at that podium, he's talking to the team. He's talking to the people in the building. Cohen does this too. All coaches do this. Coaches will talk through the media because they know his introductory news conference, they knew who was listening. They know those guys are getting on their phones and checking them out. They want to see what they're all about. And that will happen, by the way, in the middle of a season sometimes. So, yes. And I guess that's why I appreciate it more is they do open themselves up for criticism. They know they're going to open themselves up for it, but you're going to know what they're all about. And there are going to be tough times in Jacksonville, folks, in the fall or next year. And not all these draft picks are going to work out. That is going to be the true test of how this regime responds and handles and everything else. And we know that, and they know that, quite frankly. But what we have right now is something that feels a little bit different. We know what they're all about, and I would just simply ask you, did you know what they were about the last couple of years here in Jacksonville? And I would answer that with probably not. I haven't known what this team was all about, or regime was all about, or franchise was all about since 2017 when Tom Coughlin was here and he got Leonard Fournette and we knew what they were doing. Go find my article. Right? I mean, that was part of the fixing the problem is give me an identity. Tell me what this thing's all about. And I think we kind of know that where they're headed. We'll have to see them on the field, but they acted on it this weekend. And really the Travis Hunter move is the biggest one to say that.
Of course.
We don't care.
Changing the game.
That's right. And they put a lot of pressure on him, too. I think it also shows that he can handle that. Like, they know that he can handle that spotlight.
No, without a doubt. I mean, he can definitely handle it. I think just drafting him and not saying anything, like, made a statement. I mean, honestly, I think it made a statement. Like, you drafted, you moved up. You sacrificed draft capital to get Travis Hunter. Mic drop. Like, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to reaffirm it and you want to speak into existence, once again, I have no issues with this. Like, I get some people may.
Yeah.
Some people may be kind of, a little uneasy about the sermons, about, like, it almost seems like it's more about football. It's bigger than that. You're just trying to make it sound like. I get that side too. But I guess what it comes down to, Brent, is where I stand from. And I love the communication. I love the confidence, not cockiness. And I love him believing in his players. Like, I wish a GM would have said anything about me at all, ever. For real. And I don't remember, like, when Tyson Alualu got drafted, and, like, what Gene had to say about him. But it was almost like James Gladstone with Travis Hunter at that podium, like he was championing him, right? He was almost like Don King, where it's like, all right, we got this dude here, and he's gonna change the, He was hyping him up. James Gladstone, hype man. Players love that. Players, like, we can say players love a lot of things, right? That they love to win, they love money, all this stuff. Players just want to feel cared about, man. Players are sensitive creatures. Like, don't get it twisted. It's a very violent and physical game, but players can be very, very sensitive creatures. And to reestablish, like, hey, we wanted this guy so much. We traded up to get him. He's going to change the game. You're just reaffirming, like, hey, Travis, man, we got your back. Like, we want you. But now, the other side of that coin, Brent, and this is where I, sometimes fall into place here, you can do that, but you can also move in silence.
Yeah.
Like, I like the Jaguars being the lead of ESPN. I like James Gladstone's comments getting posted around because guess what? Maybe more primetime games, people are talking about you. But there's also something to be said for sometimes just moving in silence, and just going under the radar a little bit.
All right, so there's a couple of things here, and I don't want to forget them on top. And, hey, I do want your thoughts on this. To me, like, the one last thing, I didn't put this one on social media, the one last thing about this, like, constantly hearing the message and the buzzwords and everything else, to me, it's like, think about a commercial. Hopefully it's one of ours here on the show.
Nice.
That you hear a lot, and you're kind of like, I'm tired of hearing that, but I know what I'm hearing. I can almost repeat the commercial.
Geico, right? The Geico pig commercial from the NCAA tournament.
Okay. So
Maxwell.
But that's what happens. They don't. You might annoy you a little bit, but you know what it is. It's working, right? Like, that works.
15 minutes.
We can all name 5 catchphrases now from James Gladstone. We can all name them, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's robotic or not, whether you think it's AI or not, whether you're a fan of it or you're not. Like, that's what I got the commentary. It's like AI phrases. But
gotcha.
But that's you might not like it, but you can name them. So the messaging is working, is my point.
Yeah.
Right? The other thing is this. You say go in silence, and I get that. I think that would be the normal way of the NFL, is to go in silence here. What I really think is what Gladstone's doing is just stating the obvious. We know there's a ton of pressure on Travis Hunter. He has to change the Jaguars. They just traded up to get him. He's a multi-positional player in the NFL. He's a unicorn, and he's just stating the obvious, like, hey, dude, we just took you at number 2. You better be good.
no, I hear you. Listen, I think James Gladstone, he wouldn't have got this job if he's not almost like a genius. What James Gladstone is doing is he's reaffirming that he's giving the players confidence because they didn't have that last year. I think and once again, I wasn't in the locker room last year at all, so I have no idea if this was the vibe, but what I got from Doug Peterson's press conferences, what I got from players talking about the season last year, I think one of the biggest things that doesn't get talked about is they didn't feel appreciated. All right? I don't think Doug Peterson really showcased, and maybe it's more of an old school tough love approach, but how many times do we see Doug Peterson elevate his players? How many times during a press conference when a player had a great game, he actually went out of his way to say, Trevor had a really good, no. How many times was the phrase, Trevor looked really good up there today, used? Now, granted, Trevor had some bad games, but Trevor had some great games as well.
The fan base was begging for him to give an affirmation to Trevor.
Correct. Right. And we never got it. So then that whole thing's gone. That regime's gone. Doug Peterson, Trent Baalke, everyone's out of house. Okay, so you bring in a new regime. Well, what have we seen from Liam Cohen? What have we seen from James Gladstone? It's reaffirming that, hey, we got some great players here. We're going to propel them up. We're going to prop them up a little more. It's almost like a course correction, Brent. Now maybe if it was fine last year and they still, everybody got fired last year, they come in, maybe they don't change their tone. But what I see, it's James Gladstone, it's Liam Cohen, it's Tony Baselli. It's saying, hey, this culture is broken because these players, they don't even feel appreciated here. So, let's maybe, speak into existence a little more in these press conferences. Let's champion our guys. We drafted them for a reason. Let's talk about them. That's how I see it. And that's why I'm cool with it. If I didn't see that sort of vision, I'd be like, man, what are we doing? You know? But no, at least in my opinion, I get what the play is.
I think you're exactly. It's a great observation. I think it's a great call to remind of that. And I wasn't thinking of it necessarily that way, but I think you're right on because I think of it the way in juice, right? That juice term, because we've heard Trevor say it. And what Travis Hunter is going to bring on the football field, you just saw over the last couple of days what he's going to bring in the building. Yeah. And this is a building that is stagnant in the locker room. It's professional, great guys, but it's it's can somebody, what did we ask?
We asked them to throw their helmet.
Something against the wall. Please, somebody throw something against the wall. Now, I'm not telling you Travis Hunter is going to do that, but he's going to make you laugh. He's going to come in there dancing.
Maybe Jordan Lewis.
He's, and Jordan Lewis might do that. Some of the guys they brought in, but he's going to bring that. Right now, after this weekend, while we wonder what this team makeup is and who's going to bring the juice and while we get introduced to players like Jordan Lewis and try to figure those guys out a little bit more, I can tell you coming off the weekend, there are 2 guys in that building right now bringing juice. Travis Hunter and, quite frankly, James Gladstone. I think he's walking around those hallways and people that work there are looking at him like, this dude's kind of fun. Yeah. This dude's cool. That's the response. And one last one, Hamby. They admit this multiple times now, on a microphone, off a microphone. Hey, we're in the entertainment business. The Jags are acknowledging we're in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
And I know, got to win football games, but it is a big entertainment business. And they're, again, stating the obvious and kind of embracing that part right now.
At one point, they were even like, we figured we'd just trade up to get back-to-back so the fans didn't have to wait any longer and didn't have to wait to the end of the night to make our second and third round pick. That's not why they did it. But it's just funny to hear them say.
But that's what we want sometimes, right? We talk that way. They're not afraid to acknowledge the way we talk.
Right.
Look at Tony. Sure. He's like, who do you guys pick?
Yeah, that was cool.
Right?
That was cool.
I just have it's just different. I have an appreciation for it. Right now, this is what we got. I'm on board. I think most of you people are on board. Everybody else, you can have hesitation because it's the Jags.
Sure.
I totally get it. And I will too. And I'll back up everything I say with, hey, when it hits the fan, what's the response? When you go to 1-2 early in the year, what's the response? That's the true test. And winning games is what matters. But at this point in time, winning day 1 of the draft was pretty cool. And coming off the weekend, feeling pretty good about your football team, it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
That's fine. We know what it means in September. You don't have to tell us that. We don't have to keep saying that. We get it. The team has stunk. But is this all part of the turnaround?
Yeah, I think we're allowed to be happy with that way it went without everybody immediately referring to, well, it doesn't matter because we haven't played a game yet.
Because it does matter, Hamby.
It does.
Setting the tone and the culture and the message in the building does matter.
But this weekend was the least Jags draft of my lifetime. It felt the least like a Jags draft because we made a bold move. We traded up and took a superstar who has a lot of personality off of the field. As far as Gladstone goes and the robotic thing, look, I think first of all, he's likable. I think he's likable, especially as a fan of and I don't think that's just because you're a fan. I don't think it's just because he's young. I think the way he talks like you're an actual, it's a very conversational way. And then, he throws the catchphrases and infuses those into those. But if anybody was robotic, I think it's the majority of GMs in the National Football League, and I think it was Trent Baalke. And that has nothing to do with his character or anything, but the way he approached press conferences was, as soon as the question was asked, his mind would immediately go, how do I answer this without by giving away as little information as possible?
But this is the problem, though, and this is why I think from a national standpoint, people are trying to go against James Gladstone, because he's the general manager. He's not the head coach.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you ever see, listen, I know Liam Cohen spoke a lot too. He spoke a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't see any Liam Cohen comments about anybody.
This was Gladstone's weekend.
I didn't see ESPN. I didn't see NFL Network showcasing the Liam Cohen press conferences or the comments. It was all James Gladstone,
and he gave way to him.
No, for sure. Right? And let him cook.
Yeah,
let him cook. But I think people have an issue with that too, because it's, once again, we don't hear, because we've been through 10 years of what it was. We had PTSD a little bit, right? We're allowed to celebrate and be like, this is different, this is good. But once again, from the national standpoint, people looking at outside in the binoculars of Jacksonville, it's like, well, that's the GM. Why is he the mouthpiece? Why is he trying to be like the motivational guy right now of the team? That's the coach's job.
Well, Austin, the same people are even pressed that Travis Hunter is in Jacksonville.
Yeah. I mean, there are some people that they're going to, there are those people, right? I mean,
would he have been better in Cleveland?
That's what I'm saying. Why does the Jaguars don't?
There's always going to be those people. Those people I don't like. Florio, I mean, he kind of got under
same thing with Trevor. I mean, listen.
It is what it is. I mean, you're an NFL. You're
not going to overcome that.
I think I saw something last night where Gronkowski's like, please don't let him go to Jacksonville. It's like, whatever, dude. But thankfully, he's in Jacksonville in terms of Travis Hunter, in my opinion. Yeah, listen, it's a fascinating deal. It's different. I think what you just said, I think it's really important. What you just said about your buddies in Wisconsin, I haven't had as much of that feedback.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty important. That's pretty interesting, because you're right. As you guys bring it up, he's pretty loud for a GM right now. He's pretty out front.
Sure.
And there's a brashness, and it's like, all right, bring it on. Can they back that up on the field? One final thought, even because I keep bringing stuff up. You mentioned Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was actually pretty impressed over these last couple of weeks with the way this regime is working. Because we kind of sit here and say, okay, EVP Tony Baselli, how much power does he really have? Where's he in this pecking order?
Yeah.
Cohen is the coach-centric organization, everything around him. If you go back to 2017, the last time it was everything around the one guy, it was really Coughlin, and you knew where it was coming from. Well, what I saw in the last couple of weeks is Tony Baselli. I asked you, why didn't he go to the pre-draft luncheon? Why wasn't he up there on the stage? There was some, reverence to the other guys. This is their time. I'm going to sit in the shadows here, and I'm going to let those guys have their time. Sure. I don't need to be out there. Then I thought this weekend it was Cohen kind of saying, hey, this is Gladstone's time. I mean, this is going to be my team, but this is Gladstone's time. Let him go. I don't need to jump on his time. There'll be plenty of my time. So I thought it was interesting when. And Baselli the same way. He wasn't up on a stage or anything. So I thought it was interesting seeing those guys kind of go into the shadows a little bit in a very egocentric industry where it's like, hey, this is my time too, or whatever else. And there was some reverence there to be like, hey, let Gladstone have his time. And by the way, after this weekend, you might not hear from him very much for the rest of the calendar year.
No, for sure. Obviously, his research, his analytics, his fingerprint was all over this draft. So, let them shine. But once again, it's just the Jaguars are doing things a different way.
They are.
Like look at the Jets, right? They had an overhaul, new coach and everything. Like Aaron Glenn's the star in New York. Like I don't know if you saw the press conference when they got Membo and everything, and they're like, "Can you please, comment about Aaron Rodgers, that whole thing?" Playing him out, he's like, "I'm glad you asked that." And then he goes, "Membo's a really good player, and I'm excited that he's a New York Jet."
Yeah,
it's like
that was a good response.
That was a great response, right? And obviously, Jets fans right now they're super excited because of that. But yeah, man, I'm really curious to see like what this will look like going forward. I assume after this draft process, now that James Gladstone takes the back seat, and now it's Liam Cohen's time to shine.
Yeah, it's fascinating to watch. And again,
it's gonna be funny if we're at training camp and like Gladstone's leading the. Yeah. If that's the case, Brent, then I'm gonna think something's wrong. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Austin, I will say this though, like it's okay to. I'm gonna say this for the folks. Last year, how many times did people want to hear from Balky?
All the time.
And he. Remember that conversation. It's like, okay, we're just hearing from Doug. And part of our defense of Doug was like, we're throwing Doug out all the time, and he's got to answer to everything, even though some of this might not be his fault or problem.
No, but to be fair, even when we wanted Balky, we knew what the answers were going to be.
True.
Because even when he got up there, it's like, yeah, well, this is.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm not sure if the Jags will operate in the same manner as they've always done, where it's like, okay, like Dave Caldwell was fine in front of a microphone.
Sure.
But they didn't really talk much during the season. I think that Gladstone should talk more during the season. Not every week, but it's okay if like every few weeks or every month or something like that, he's a little bit more, maybe just to take some off the plate of a Cohen. Or Baselli can do that too. So you can now spread it out a little bit. Yeah. Especially if there's some problems. Especially if there's adversity. So everybody gets a little bit of that.
For sure.
Accountability.
And then let's be honest, LeBron, the only reason why you wanted Trent Baalke because the team wasn't doing good and we weren't getting answers.
Well, you wanted,
right? Like,
you wanted somebody on a platter.
Well, of course. Yeah. The goal is going to be this team's going to be a lot better than last year, but we're not going to be asking for James Gladstone to give us answers. Like, you can just go back to the shadows, man, and do what you got to do, and then we'll let Liam Cohen take over. Like, if this, hopefully, and once again, we'll get into this later down this, the year, but hopefully the Jaguars can make a rebound from last year, and we're not asking, hey, why isn't James Gladstone talking? Why is this, like, that's what we wanted from Trent Baalke. It wasn't just like we wanted to hear Trent Baalke speak or whatever. It was because, well, hey, man, this team's not doing that good right now. There's some questionable decisions. How about you get in front of the microphone and you clue us in what's going on?
Yeah. So, hey, I guess you just brought us into another two things for me.
EVP
podcast. Travis Hunter, a few more thoughts on him coming out of the weekend. And then also, just how much better are the Jags? Like, seriously, do you look at on paper like, oh, they're a much better football team. They look like they're going to be. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure I say that. That's not the first thing that jumps in my mind. And so is this more rebuild than I had in mind? Is this more gun plug and play, even though we think there are some good players on the team? It's not starting from scratch. How do we feel about that coming out of this draft? And now that we know really what the team looks like? We'll talk about it when we come back. Brent Austen Show on a Monday, Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network. This is the clip from Jaguars.com.
The walk and talk.
Yeah, this is the Jake Tammy conversation along with Baselli there. And the Jags were able to chronicle this, and it will be part of the hunt. But this was like, I think, a day and a half before the draft. And like the deal had been in place, according to Mike Silver, by the way, for 17 days. And this was just the Jags confirming on their end, okay, we slept on it, we love it, we're still good with it, right?
Yeah.
And then they just had to get to, obviously, Thursday night when they saw Cam Ward go to Tennessee. Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
for the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jag Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Save 10% off any water heater, plus no trip charge. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost, from Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Even better, to celebrate their 10-year anniversary, the team at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are hosting an open house May 1st. Learn about the array of procedures. There's also chances to win big prizes. Come look and feel your best with Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics today.
Are you about to graduate high school and haven't decided on what you want to do when you get done? Well, one option is to apply to become a student in the Electrical Training Alliance of Jacksonville. Their program offers structured classroom and online training along with on-the-job training so that you can earn while you learn. Still not convinced? The folks at ETA Jacks are a tuition-free 4-year apprenticeship program. There is no tuition and no student debt. Just pay for your books and your fees. That's it. Now, speaking of pay, students, they start off making $40,000 per year, including benefits, and they graduate, get this, making over $80,000 per year, including those sought-after benefits. Now, that sounds pretty good to me, and if that sounds good to you, it should check off a lot of boxes. So head on over to etajacks.org and apply by May 15th. Again, the website right here, etajacks.org. Don't wait, apply today.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
All right, so some of the undrafted free agents, folks really like this part. The diehards really like it. Patrick Herbert, by the way, the brother of Justin Herbert at tight end. Some wide receivers brought in. I mean, what does that say? That's the most competition they brought in on both sides of the ball, wide receivers and defensive line. I think we can say, okay, defensive line makes sense. There could be some room for it to compete.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, there's more room to compete. I mean, once they got Travis Hunter, I'm like, okay, I know they like De'Ami Brown. They still do have Gabe Davis, and they've got Parker Washington. Where are they trying to create competition, I guess? What are they, just special teams, 5th, 6th receiver?
They got a lot of size in those receivers. I think every one of them is 6'3".
Well, this regime's, quite frankly, if you turn on the tape from last year, you're not going to fall in love with Gabe Davis. So, with all due respect, and I don't, the fan base will hammer a guy like Gabe Davis. I'm not trying to jump on that train. I'm just saying
he has a lot to prove.
He has a lot to prove, and I mean, is he expendable at some point because of it? If things don't go well in August, or how he fits into their scheme? I mean, these are things that we're going to learn. Like, what is Cohen looking for in a receiver? We know this. They got two dudes on the outside, obviously with Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr.
No, and that's the biggest point. It's funny, like. And I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, Brent. Like, let's watch the preseason. Let's see what the percentage is going to be. But like, when you put Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr., because we always talk about it, it's 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
Where is that? Like, I'm saying in terms of like rankings now, in terms of wide receiver duos.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to go Miami and Minnesota and Philly.
I think the Steelers are still ahead of us with DK and Pickens.
I don't know if I lean that way, man. I don't know. And listen, this is a really hard exercise to do. I've never seen Travis Hunter play a snap in the NFL.
And George Pickens hasn't really got a lot of balls thrown his way either, so it's hard to judge him, though, too.
I don't know if I feel that way, though. Like, you can argue that. I get it. Those are talented gues. I've also just never been as big of. Oh, by the way, we're leaving out Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, probably one, huh? By a long shot.
So, but I don't know. I've just never been as big on DK Metcalf as everybody else is on him. Like, I don't know if he's not Jamar Chase to me. He's not AJ Brown
to me. Travis Hunter, who hasn't seen a.
But is he better than Brian Thomas Jr.?
I'd say they're
and then is Travis Hunter better than Pickens? Like, that's where I would argue.
I mean, to be fair, right now I'd probably take Brian Thomas Jr. over DK Metcalf.
I think I would too,
because I think you can do so much more with him.
Yeah. So anyway, listen. This is what the league's doing. There were a lot of receivers picked in the draft early too, including Pat Bryant, who's scheduled to join us in the 11 o'clock hour, who went in the third round to Denver. So, I mean, this is what teams are doing, is loading up on wide receivers.
Of course.
So, I don't know. We'll see. I can tell you this, it doesn't feel like anybody's too much faster than them. I do think Waddle and Tyreek Hill, right, when you go speed. And then outside of that, I think Jags are going to come probably in second in a track meet.
Yeah, for sure.
Which they really elevated their speed.
Yeah.
You know, the more I think, Travis Hunter, man, the more you think about it and digest it and watch everything from the weekend and just watch how athletic he is and how easy it is for him. There's still one thing that jumps out in my mind about Hunter. It's a little surprising when you think of how fluid he is and how good of an athlete and how people talk about next level athlete he is. When I think about that in today's day and age, I think about Shohei Ohtani, who is a big dude. I think about Aaron Judge, who's a big dude. I think about Mike Trout, who looks like he could play linebacker. I think about in basketball, LeBron James, who looks like he can play football. The funniest thing about it for me, at least in my mind, in my psyche, is Travis Hunter's like 185 pounds. Or 188 pounds.
Yeah.
He's not a physical specimen, but he's an extremely talented athlete.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird thing to be like, he is that kind of athlete, but just not built to like put in a lab necessarily from a physical specimen looking standpoint.
He's not like a Calvin Johnson. Remember when Calvin Johnson came out?
Or DK.
Or DK. Correct. Yeah, true. Yeah.
So, like, that's what's weird about it in my mind. But, man, watch it. You just watch more highlights and you watch more highlights and all the videos played. It's just, everything's so easy.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it's, once again, not the off-the-field stuff, obviously, but the on-the-field stuff, it's Justin Blackmon all over again. Like, Justin Blackmon didn't, like, he was a big dude. But, like, dude, I watched him work out. Wasn't much for the weight room, to be honest.
Yeah.
But just natural, talented, effortless. Yeah, that's Blackmon. And I think that when you watch Hunter play football, that's what he looks like as well.
Did you lose any, I guess, where are you on the excitement level for Travis Hunter? It was exciting on Thursday night. It was exciting Friday morning. What about, like,
it's
now?
No, I mean, I'm excited, Brent. The biggest thing for me, because, you know, having played the game, is I got to see, like, what's the plan? It's like, how do I put it? It's like you have this shiny new toy, but, like, what does it actually do? You know, it's like, you know it's going to be great, and you know, like, you're going to get the most out of it, but, like, how does it work? Where's the instruction manual? You know, like, I still need to see how it works.
Well, I'm going to tell you how I think it works.
Sure.
I think it works that He's on the field like any number 2 wide receiver or 1-1A receiver would be.
Okay.
Which is probably, I don't know,
that's like
40 to 45 to 55 snaps a game or something like that, right?
Okay. And then on defense?
And then on defense, I think they tried to hint a little bit like, hey, he's going to play defense. But it definitely wasn't he's going to play every snap.
Sure.
Like there's no interpretation of that he was going to play every snap. And so I'm thinking in my mind it's more like a 20 to 25 kind of snap deal on defense, which would put you a little bit lower than 50%, which would bring him into play for nickel or whatever spot that is on that side of the ball and get him on the field. And by the way, it might start more like 12 or 14 plays and balloon to 20 to 22 plays, and sometimes it's different. Depending on who you're playing and the style that you're playing. But I would say if it's 45 to 50 plays on offense and 15 to 25 plays on defense, which is a pretty wide scope, I would say that's how it's working.
And that's great. But, like, I have to see it, Brent. Like, we could sit here and say, because this is what happens when you're Travis Hunter. Like, I have no idea. Like, will you be a full-time starter wide receiver? Hopefully. But, like, will you get your reps? Are you just going to be a nickel? Will we see you start the game on defense? Like, let's say it's game 1 of the season. Maybe you're at home.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
Now, maybe just to start almost a nod to him, but I don't think...
We don't know.
I don't think on week 2 he's starting on defense.
Okay. But, like...
I think Jarian Jones, I think Jordan Lewis, and I think Tyson Campbell are your starters.
Gotcha.
Right now as it looks.
Sure.
To me.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, we don't know. You're right. I just don't think it's a cookie-cutter answer. I don't think it's like saying, hey, Maurice Jones-Drew, you got to give him 22 carries at least.
Yeah.
And there's going to be you're going to win and lose depending on if he plays that way. I don't think it's going to be that way. But I also feel like the framework of what I just said is probably something where it's going to start.
Sure. But my only point is, am I excited for Travis Hunter? Absolutely. Over the moon. What am I excited for? I'll tell you I'll tell you after game 1. I'll tell you after game 2. Like, I don't know what I should be looking for. I don't know, I don't know what to expect.
Hamby, let me jump on this a little bit deeper.
I'm about to get into the snap counts for BTJ and compare them.
That'll be good. But I'll get less in the weeds on the snap counts. I'll be a little bit more, my expectation right now is for him to help you score points on offense.
Correct.
I don't really care right now about the defense. I understand that's the fun part of this. I understand he wants to do it. I understand the Jags are going to let him do it. I don't really care about what he does on defense. I need him to help Trevor Lawrence, help Brian Thomas Jr., help Liam Cohen score offense. Like, to me, that's my expectation of this player.
Doesn't this team care about what he does on defense,
I
though?
care about what he does on defense.
If you're giving up, and once again, this is probably going to happen, but just for the sake of the argument, say you're giving up big plays in the secondary in a game. Maybe you're playing the Dolphins or whatever the case may be, and it's like, all right, you're bleeding out, giving up the long plays. I mean, are we going to look and be like, hey, can we put Travis Hunter in there, please, a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe. You know, I mean, like, yeah. Like, John Osmond brings up a great point. By the way, John, thanks for all the recommendations in Oregon. He messaged me.
Oh, cool.
Fantastic. But he says it's going to be insufferable when you give up big defensive plays and everybody says Hunter should have been on the field.
It's
like,
fair.
that's going to be a conversation.
Because the fact of the matter is, right now, as it's penciled in, Jarian Jones is your left cornerback out on the other side of Tyson Campbell. And everything, we all like Jarian Jones, but the fact of the matter is he didn't play outside at all last year. He played a decent bit there at FSU, but that's no guarantee. That's a question mark. That is a question mark right now. And in week 1, until it's answered, that will be a question mark. So that's why I care about and I know, Brent, you're speaking semi-hyperbolically. Travis Hunter needs to be out there at corner, I think, not just 10 to 15 plays a game.
And guess what? I think he wants to be out there as well.
Well, I think there's bigger want than need, to be quite honest with you right now. I'm not screaming here that I think the Jags and Campanile probably wants to use him, but like Cohen and Gladstone say he needs to be out there. They're going to build a roster on defense, they hope, I think, that says you don't need to be out there, but we would like you to be out there to make some plays and help out, and we get better when you're out there. But if they do it the way I just said it, where it's like you don't need to, well, then they don't need to play him 45 snaps. They can manage the snaps much better if you don't need him. You just elevate the players in certain spots and packages on the defensive side. So I'll just go back to it again. Like, I think we can be critical. Come the season, we're going to debate like hell, man. Like how many snaps he's playing, all this stuff. Everybody's going to say it. But if he's playing snaps on offense and he's producing on offense, to me, that is good enough for Brent. I'm just telling you right now. If he elevates their offense and they score more than 18.8 a game, like significantly more, and I can point to him being a reason why, that is satisfactory for me off the jump. I don't need to get wrapped up in this is like Ohtani last year just hit. Mm-hmm. They won the World Series. He didn't pitch. He had Tommy John. It's awesome when he pitches. He's another dude on the bump, but he hit first or second in the lineup. He changes them offensively, and they're good enough to win it all. Like, to me, that's satisfactory to me.
That's not good enough for me. I'm sorry.
Really?
Because I'm going off of what this organization said to us. With all due respect to Travis Hunter, and you're going to be a great wide receiver, we hope. But you're not going to change the game at wide receiver. You're going to change the game because you can go out there, hopefully put up a 1,000-yard season, and then play cornerback and shut down great wide receivers. That's how you change the game. That, to me, is why you traded up to get him.
Because he's not the best receiver in the class. He's the best player in the class.
Oh, I think people think he is the best. I mean, I think the Jags think he's the best receiver in the class.
But here's how I look at it. Okay, go ahead, Hamby. Sorry.
No, I think, but they didn't trade up because he's the best receiver in the class. They traded up because he's going to help them on both sides. And so just to see it on one side, even if it's great on one side, we're going to be like, well, do we really need to, hypothetically, if he would only be out there in week 1 and he puts together a decent stat line and catches a touchdown, it's going to be great. But at the same time, it's going to be like, well, do we need to trade up to 2 to just get an offense? And he didn't play a single snap against the other team's best receiver on defense.
Correct. And listen, look at Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. He was the can't miss wide receiver. Mm-hmm. He was the guy okay, this guy's far above everybody else. He had an okay year. Okay. But was he Brian Thomas Jr.? No. Was he Malik Neighbors? So, and nobody traded up to get Marvin Harrison Jr., right? And it's a wide receiver. It's an important position. You can go ahead and say that Travis Hunter might be the best wide receiver of this draft class. You can make an argument for Ted McMillan if he truly cares about the game of football and everything, his size. There's a couple of guys you can say this might be the best wide receiver. But to me, you drafted him. You moved up. You sacrificed your capital because of what he can do on defense as well. So once again, I'm excited, yes. I just don't know how to be excited yet because I got to see what the plan's going to be. And I'm going to be honest, Brent. I get plan number 1. How about Trevor Lawrence? That's why Liam Cohen's here. That's what James Gladstone should have thought this entire draft process. How do we help out Trevor Lawrence? That's the most important part, taking care of your franchise quarterback. But the 1B's got to be, all right, well, we drafted him to change the game. So let us change the game then.
Yeah, and I think they will. I'm not trying to tell you guys that I don't think he'll play defense. I'm just saying my expectation level is for him to at least to start change their offense. I don't know how much a guy playing 20 snaps a game is going to change their defense. But I think he can elevate their defense and help their defense, but I think it's way less tangible. It's way less right in front of, we can statistically tell you how he can change the offense. I think you can do that far less on defense, especially from the corner position.
But Brent, Ted McMillan could have changed this offense.
He could have.
Heck, Luther Burden in the second round could have changed this offense. Once again, I get you changing the offense, but if you're trying to change the game, you got to see him on defense. And you're going to have to see him in some sort of larger capacity, I would say. Now, once again, do you just slowly bring him along? We're already starting happy. This was my biggest concern when we talked about Shock Your Mock of drafting Travis Hunter. I was all for it the whole time.
Don't be scared.
But my biggest concern is now we're going to argue how you're going to use him.
No, well, but that's kind of, I don't know if it's a concern. I think it's more the fun part of it. But I do think we're missing something about this player in particular. And I understand on the field matters most. There's something to the brand of this guy, right? The energy of this guy. There are, to steal his, I won't say intangibly rich, but I'll say there are intangibles to this player that do bring things to the table other than 2 picks in 2025. And I think You can add those. I think I can live with the intangible, elevate everybody in the building. The branding's fun. You can catch the primetime game. You got the league talking about the Jags. And, oh, by the way, caught 8 touchdowns, caught 75 passes, averaged 17 yards a catch, like those kind of things. Sure. I just feel like in my mind, that's where it goes. Now, he's going to play defense. I just can't sit here and, in my mind, paint a good picture of, man, if he comes out of a game against the Indianapolis Colts and he's got 22 snaps and 2 tackles and a pass deflection, it's like, oh, wow, okay, good job. Like that's exactly what I had in mind. Like I just think it's so much harder to say, how do you do it? And I just don't think they brought him in to be Jalen Ramsey necessarily on that side of the ball and say shut down this side of the field. I don't think that's the way they've presented this, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Now listen, like our mock drafts did, right? They had him at the corner position first. So if the Jags come out here this week and say, hey, primarily he's going to play on defense, then I'm like, okay, you got to lock down that side and come up with however many picks, and then it'll be cool on the other side if you give us 12 plays, 15 plays on offense and get a couple of catches and maybe score a couple touchdowns this season. Yeah. But it's presented as an offensive play first. And so in my mind, I'm just like, okay, I can see the impact there. And the impact is score points, as Tony Baselli said.
No, without a doubt. Yeah.
It's just, it'll be, I think you almost have to where do you set your level of expectation? Because it is hard to predict exactly what this is going to look like. And that's
all
where I do
pro
think
defense, all pro offense.
Yeah, well, and
first rookie, all pro both ways.
Well, in fairness, James Gladstone said he's going to change the game, which kind of put that out there a little. Like he is top 3 right now by Vegas odds as offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year.
Crazy.
He's top 3 in both.
Yeah.
To me, that's a little bit lofty.
No, that's a little unrealistic, I would say.
Yeah, like, Hamby, this is Ohtani leads in home runs and wins the Cy Young. Guess what? It looks like it's a doable thing for Ohtani.
Right.
But that wasn't necessarily when he came over to Major League Baseball, couldn't have been a realistic expectation.
Never.
Right? His WAR is going to help you on both sides, on the mound and at the plate.
But he's not going to be the best.
But he's not going to be the best one at both.
Right.
I'm not sure. I think, again, his WAR, that whatever the thing is in NFL, he's going to elevate that on both sides and make you better. I just feel like he can be more the star on offense right now because that's what they've presented. Correct. And also, we just know stats better that way, and we see more highlights that way.
Of course. But, don't forget how guys like Richard Sherman, guys like Darrelle Revis, and once again, not going to put Travis Hunter in that category yet until we see him, but guys like that change the game for their teams. Guys like that.
They do.
So I understand. And yes, I said it myself. The most important thing is helping out Trevor Lawrence, but you got to win football games as well. So if winning football games means, hey, our defense maybe still be a little porous despite our scheme on defense, so we need Travis to come over here a little more and help us out, then so be it. And yeah, you're not going to have the stats that say, well, is he doing good at the cornerback position or not? But I'm going to look to it when, all right, Justin Jefferson's out there. Who's going to stop him? It's crunch time. Tyreek Hill's out there. Who's going to stop him? That's how we're going to classify how good of a player Travis Hunter is on defense.
Right.
I don't need interceptions. I don't need tackles. I don't need forced fumbles. All I need is when great wide receivers, because every team's got great wide receivers now, when great wide receivers are on the field, are they getting the football? Are they making plays? That's all I need.
Hey, have some fun with this exercise with me for a minute, okay? Because I did think about this, and I think it's a fair question to some degree. Again, I do think there's a lot that comes with the Travis Hunter package that nobody else in this draft brought to the table. Mm-hmm. From selling jerseys to selling tickets to branding to all this stuff. And I understand that's not paramount, but it is a part of the recipe here as well. When you can get a player that's that transcendent, that's unusual in sport. Hey, it's part of why the Dodgers are paying Ohtani $700 million, right? Because they know they're going to get the return on their investment, whether he pitches or not. Mm-hmm. In the first year, he didn't pitch. So I'll ask you this. They gave up the 36th overall pick, and they gave up a first-rounder next year. So without knowing who will be a first-rounder next year, I'm going to utilize this draft for this exercise. Okay? So I'm going to say the Jags don't make the playoffs this week. I'll be real. Well, I think they have a chance to, but I would say they won't. And they pick 18th. I don't know, somewhere between 18 and 22 or something like that. But let's just say they pick 18th.
Okay.
And they could have got Genty. In the second round, they could have had Luther Burden at 36 because he went like 38.
Yep.
And let's just use next year where they get a guy like Gray Zabel. Offensive lineman, future center.
Yep.
I mean, I think who picked him?
Seahawks.
The Seahawks picked him 18.
Yep.
Fair enough? You follow me?
Yep.
I got you.
So basically the Jags, in essence, not necessarily, they couldn't have had all three of these guys this year. But in essence, they could have had Genty this year, Luther Burden this year, and then a player like Gray Zabel with the first pick next year.
Sure.
That does make you think, like, okay, is Travis Hunter worth that? Right?
Yeah.
Which is why I want him to play on defense. Yeah. yeah.
Like, would you rather?
No,
does that give you pause on the Travis Hunter because I give you those three players?
No, because the only thing that's going to give me pause is if the Cleveland Browns, with their second first round pick, are picking in the top 10, are picking in the top 8, then that gives me pause. Because you sacrificed a lot to get Travis Hunter. Sure, you can say you're changing the game. To me, it's about winning football games. You drafted Travis Hunter to win football games. And I get a lot has to happen. Injuries, all this stuff. I get it. But if Cleveland's picking top 8 with the Jaguars pick, then in a year, and once again, a lot has to go into that, but in a year we can go and say, well, was it really worth it then?
Yeah, that's
right,
fair.
because then that means the season didn't go the way you thought it was going to go.
No, that's true.
But once again, injuries, a lot of things go into that.
There's a lot that goes into this whole hypothetical here.
Right.
But at the face value of it, you could have had Genty, who we fell in love with over the last couple of weeks too, right?
Correct.
And you could have had Luther Burden, who on this show we were a big fan of. Mm-hmm. So you could have had wide receiver and running back. Are the Jags even just better right now with those two guys instead of Travis Hunter? I simply just asked the question, while this is a lot of fun, was Travis Hunter worth that?
And I go back to Gladstone's answer when he was asked that. He said, well, Travis Hunter's worth a first-rounder as a receiver. He's also worth a first-rounder as a corner. And that makes it worth it. It's the both sides of it. And I know that's a little bit redundant of kind of what our point's been over the last 10, 15 minutes, but I think that is it. He has to play both. Because if he's just one position, then the answer is no. And that's even coming from a guy who didn't love Genty. At 5 specifically, because you're gonna the question that I think is after that is how many needs did we address? Because it'd be easier to say that pick was worth it if we had less needs to address, right? Which is why any naysayers potentially who didn't love the pick are because are we one player away? Do we have more needs that didn't get filled or won't be filled next year because we moved up? And I think as much as I still love the Travis Hunter pick, I think there's a point to that because in what position did we get better this offseason?
Well, that I guess that's the follow. By the way, a little bit later on in that one Painter Paint the Player, Daniel Griffiths gives us some statistics about just how good Travis Hunter was. If you haven't seen some of the stats, like some of the breakout numbers and deeper dive numbers. So we'll have that coming up in just a little bit on Paint the Player, presented by thatonepainter.com, and you can read about it at actionsportsjacks.com. But I think that kind of leads into my other question before we hit a break. I mean, this is a 4-win team. Mm-hmm. I can't honestly sit here and tell you that I think like, whoa, they are now a 9-win team. Now, or a 10-win team. I can tell you that I think there were some really odd things that happened last year, which I've been doing all offseason anyway, with the one-score games and the lack of turnovers.
Sure.
That realistically, I think if they just ran it back with last year's team, they would probably, if they did it again, probably win 7 or 8 games.
A reduction to the mean.
Right? So, but I also will say they lost 2 of their best players in Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. Now, to me, this is a replacement to Kirk, right?
Right.
Correct.
Does he replace Ingram and Kirk?
It's an upgrade from Kirk.
It's an upgrade.
Yes. Ingram probably lost a little bit, but what did you gain with Brenton Strange then in the run game?
Yeah.
Right, because that's what the plan's going to be. You're running the football a lot more.
Listen, Ingram's older. I'm not trying to, listen, we don't love having Ingram off this team.
Correct.
But he is going to be 32 years old, too. So that might just be the cost of doing business in the NFL. But outside of that, they add 7 offensive linemen so far in free agency and undrafteds and in the draft. I mean, they've addressed the offensive line,
but none of them were upgrades.
Well, I don't. I think they're all debatable.
Well, I'm not saying Hainsey's an upgrade over Mitch Morse. I hope he can be, and I hope he's as good. But that was a plug and play.
Yep.
I don't think McCorry's going to be better than Sheriff right away. He's more versatile and he gives you more options, but who knows? Murray, you made 2 upgrades 100% this offseason. 2. Receiver, Travis Hunter, and nickel with Jordan Lewis. Outside of that, everything else is debatable, or you just inserted a starter for somebody who left. That's not an upgrade, but you put in a guy.
I think that's fair and also debatable, but so your fairness on this is it's not obvious that the offensive line is better.
Correct.
I think it's debatable that it's better because you're losing 2 32, 33-year-old guys, right? Sure. That were really, we talked to Mitch Morse, and I thought Morse was fantastic. And I thought he played pretty well overall. But I talked to Mitch Morse in the preseason, and he even admitted at this stage of his career he's not who he was. Like, he knew it. But he was still good enough to get the job done. So where does that go a year deeper? And definitely with Sheriff. I thought Sheriff played well last year. And I won't go back on that. I thought he did. But we also wonder, like, how long he's going to – he's limping around the locker room, right, every week. So I think that's where the debate comes in. And I think the debate comes into, like, Eric Armstead going back into the interior and now establishing that's where he's going to basically play.
Well, I didn't count.
It, right, is better than what they were last year where they're jockeying them around and sometimes not using them. Yep. So, listen, fair. And I guess that's why I brought it up. I'm kind of with you. I don't necessarily sit here and say, like, I see what they did. You kind of hope that these 3rd rounders, 4th rounders will contribute. But I can't sit here on Monday after the draft and tell you, wow, I think, look out Houston. I think this is the AFC South champ.
Okay. But I understand that from who they brought in, but you hope the coaching elevates it, and you hope the culture elevates it.
And the health, Trevor.
Well, the health too, because here's the thing. Like, expectations for me are high this year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like,
me too.
You better be competing for a division.
I totally agree with you.
I don't want to be like, oh, well, let's give it. No, because guess what? Teams like the Houston Texans, when they brought in DeMeco Ryans, teams like the Commanders in the first year have completely ruined it for everybody. Okay? No, this isn't a 3-year rebuilding process. This is a 1 year, hit the ground running, and compete for a divisional title. Because you saw Washington do it in a pretty hard division, and you've seen Houston do it. Now, the difference with that is, well, you had your quarterback, right? Like, you had a fresh quarterback, your franchise quarterback, Jane Daniels, C.J. Stroud. That was a big part of it. We think Trevor Lawrence is up there with it. Right? Now, maybe he got put behind the 8 ball a little bit because of guys like Urban Meyer, because of injuries, because of drop balls, all these things. The goal this year is, Trevor, you got paid. You're the franchise guy. They got your wide receiver. Or you got Brian Thomas Jr. still. You got maybe a running back you can have some fun with, whatever the case may be. Offensive line, hopefully. But there's really no more excuses. So if there's no more excuses, and we think Trevor's the guy, okay, check. If you've upgraded, hopefully now your defense a little bit in terms of what the scheme's going to be and everything, and now you got some younger guys coming to another year. Eric Armstead's actually play his right position. All right, check. Like, I'm not saying you're going to beat Houston in the division, but you better be in a conversation with them.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's my expectation for this football team too, but I don't sit here and I'm not selling anybody on, look, they're going to win 10 games. Yeah. But I do think it's never been in my face, maybe more covering the Jacksonville Jaguars, of things that you guys referenced already, that coaching and culture have to be the biggest difference in this year compared to last year, because the roster isn't that much different. Like, this is not a 2013 team roster, 4 wins. That's been ballooned to a 2017 or 2022 roster. Or 21 versus 22, quite frankly, where they went out and paid a bunch of free agents, and you're like, oh, that dude's better, that dude's better, that dude's better. Like, there's still a lot of unknown about how these guys will play. There's a lot of unknown about the coaching staff, but that's the hope. The hope lies in the culture and the coaching. that things will, and by just the rare numbers that happened last year, the close losses and turnovers. Like, really, there's a little bit of, that's blind faith that this season is going to be better. There's a little bit of that going on. Murphy's Law, perhaps.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Take a time out. Brent and Austen Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network. We're going to get Pat Bryant on. He just texted me a moment ago, though. He's got a rookie meeting that he has to attend that he just found out about. So probably push him off to tomorrow. Now we'll catch up with the young man out of Atlantic Coast who's drafted in the 3rd round by the Denver Broncos. So that'll probably be pushed over to tomorrow. We have some reaction from James Gladstone from over the weekend. A lot more to get into, obviously, on the Jaguars. Still ahead here on a Monday. Hope you're having a great weekend. And nobody had a better weekend than these guys right there. Say hello to Piper Weber.
There we go.
Congratulations,
Yes, sir.
Stuart and his wife, Courtney. And congrats to mom and dad now. Really cool moment for those guys. Nothing better. Life changer for those guys. Hopefully a franchise changer for the Jags with Travis Hunter. That's a life changer. I know it is for the Webbers. And there's little Piper. Very cool. Hope mom and dad and everybody doing well. They're now home. Now it gets real. Good luck sleeping.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I'm ready to show my hand, ready to take a stand. Wait on a sign above, and I am ready, ready. 'Cause I just live for the game. 'Cause I just live for the game. 'Cause I just live for the game.
Action Sports Jacks is the biggest brand in Jacksonville, and we're excited to add another partnership for this team's biggest season yet. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is now the official streaming network of the Jacksonville Sharks for their 15th season.
The Jacksonville Sharks are your champions.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Will Olive, Mandarin High School. Go Stangs.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School.
Tony Mazzio, Sandalwood High School, class of 2002. Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School. Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard Built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customize, covered, and Bozard approved.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
As much as the Jacksonville Jaguars were the talk of the NFL for picking Travis Hunter, this one definitely took the cake. It's on every morning show, even news-wise this morning. Shedeur doesn't go to the 5th, but even bigger than that, he's pranked by what looks like a typical frat kid from Ole Miss who calls acting as if he's the GM of the New Orleans Saints. Come to find out, he is the son of current Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulrich, who was the interim with the Jets last year, you may remember. Dad leaves his phone out on the table. Son goes and gets the number, makes the call, and now we got a statement from the Atlanta Falcons having to cover for both Jeff and Jax. An utter disaster.
Jax actually, I guess, called up Sanders to apologize.
Yeah.
And I guess Sanders...
he took the call.
All right, I'm going to be honest. This is definitely going to go against the grain a little bit here. When I first saw that happen, I chuckled a little bit simply because this has happened to me, not in the draft capacity. Well, it happened to me in the draft capacity as well, not that way. But it was a couple days before signing period and for high school. Obviously, I'm in high school right now, and I'm getting ready. I probably shared this story before, but
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm getting ready, to sign my national letter of intent to go to Minnesota State Mankato because, well, they're giving me the most money. And I had a goal of getting a full ride scholarship. Probably wasn't going to get it. Thankfully, Murray State, like the day before, reached out. But nevertheless, a couple days before, 7 p.m., 8 p.m., I'm at my friend's house. Number goes off. Don't recognize the number. Well, actually, I'm sorry. It's a private number because back then you can go like the star 68, I think it was.
Right. Yeah.
Private number. So answer the phone, and I forgot like what the name was, but basically, Austin, so-and-so here, University of Illinois. How'd you like to come play tight end for us? And, this went on for like 10 minutes. And like my friends are all there and they're like, who is it? I'm like, just shut up. So I'm just like, yeah, coach, obviously. So then they tell me like, all right, well, we're going to sign the papers for you tomorrow. So, be at your school, ready to go. We'll fax the papers to your coach. Sounds good. Click. So I tell my friends like, well, what was that? I'm like, I'm going to go to the Fighting Illini. Like, this is crazy. So, like, I'm celebrating everything. No. I'm hugging, dude. I'm almost in tears because I'm like, this came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I called my mom and let her know. And she was going crazy. Well, come to find out, when I'm in my friend's basement, by the way, we have basements in Wisconsin. Yeah. If you've seen that 70s show, you know what I'm talking about there. But, so, like, I call my mom, we celebrate, and then my friends start to, like, chuckle and laugh. I go, what's so funny? And they're like, oh, dude, we just pranked you. And I was like, no, to be fair, those are some of my best friends till this day.
Yeah.
Right? So, like.
And you kicked their ass.
Yeah, exactly. But when I saw Shedeur Sanders, I'm like, man, I know, but still kind of a messed situation because of how far he was falling,
Yeah, listen, I said this, I think I said this Maybe I didn't. I don't know, because you can't touch the Sanders thing. It's just crazy, like how people view it in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. And my overall opinion is I feel like he dropped because he's not a first-round quarterback. I feel like he's not a starting quarterback. I don't think they evaluate him that way. And then you can add all the other things, because if you're not a starter, if they don't view you as your starter, well, then why do you want to deal with all the other stuff?
Well, exactly.
Right?
That's like their worst nightmare.
Does the talent outweigh the distraction?
You say it all the time. I think I even tweeted
simple.
it this weekend. I was like, I stole your line. Like, this is a great example of that. And I think because usually you got to win. Like, this is the one thing I say about conspiracy theories and stuff in the NFL. Winning is all that matters, folks.
Correct.
So, like, you'll make a deal with the devil, Urban Meyer, just to make sure you win. Like, you will make that sacrifice to win. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So, like, if the guy's really good, you're not going to sit a top 5 talent and be like, oh, I'm not getting him till the 5th round because I don't want his dad's a pain or he's a pain or he doesn't do. Like, that ain't it. Like, you would take a shot. But once you say, hey, I don't think he's really going to start for us, well, now you start putting him further and further down, because backup quarterbacks get picked anywhere from the 2nd to the 7th round.
They prioritize the guy you're never going to hear his name again.
And then you start looking at those other things, like how you interviewed and, look at all the attention. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. What kind of teammate's he going to be? And who knows what he is going to be like, But anyway, I don't understand this kind. Like, I don't understand your buddy's humor back then.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand this kind of humor when it comes to the break. Like, that's just not me. I'm not trying to be like old guy. I've just never really, like, you could ask me this question in high school, and I don't really get it. Like, I don't get that kind of humor. Like, to me, I felt bad for Sanders, and I know I'm not supposed to, because he's like grown up with a rich guy, silver spoon, all this stuff, everything he wants. He's still a human being at 22 years old who has to deal with this publicly. Like, I don't think that's I don't think that's cool. Like, I really just don't think that's cool, and I don't think this added to it. And the kid's an idiot. And by the way, he's not a kid. The kid, the son of the DC, is 21-year-old. He's 21 years old. Like, you're asking the 22-year-old Sanders to be able to deal with all this stuff, but we're okay with calling the 21-year-old frat kid who grew up with a silver spoon probably too to be like parallels. A kid instead of a grown man. You're a grown adult. You know that you shouldn't be doing that.
Correct.
You're a dumbass.
Oh, no, for sure. And by the way, hey, go ahead and record it and put it on the internet, you idiot.
Yeah, you're a moron on top of a dumbass.
Well, that's the only reason
he could have got away with it.
Well, that's the only thing.
Oh, I know, because people you gotta have the receipts. You gotta get that clout. It's not good enough just to say, like, hey, I was the guy that kind of pranked Shedeur Sanders. No, I need the whole world to know that I pranked Shedeur.
That's right.
And how did that work out for you now?
Right. The only prank call that I've enjoyed and thought was funny is back in this is probably 10 years ago now. Maybe it's way under the radar for baseball fans, but it's when the guys at Texas A&M called the bullpen phone and got A.J. Minter loose. And back in A&M, they see him, running from the dugout to the bullpen. He actually gets loose. And now we know that name, obviously, because he played for the Braves. Now he's on the Mets. But that was in his college days, and that tweet's out there from all the way back then. That's the only one that's ever been awesome, because nobody obviously was a victim in a sense of that.
There probably are some great prank calls, and even in yours, right? Calls. Like, I don't think that's even that funny. At least it's not public.
It's your buddy,
right? It's your buddy, and then you can go kick their butt because you're 6'5" and whatever.
I felt a certain type of way.
Yeah, I bet you did. I would have done too. But this one's just so public, man. Like, this is not. This is, and people don't understand. He already brings enough on himself. Like, I just think, you know what else I feel bad for? I actually feel bad for the dad. What's the DC of Atlanta supposed to do? Like, if this kid, this is how he got it, seriously, if there was nothing else going on there, and I'm going to assume there is nothing else going on, I think it's a really tough spot for that guy and the Falcons organization. Like,
but that's your kid. Like, your kid's a direct reflection of you.
Nah, listen.
Ty's not going to do that. No, do you know why? Because you taught him well.
Ronan is going to do some stuff at some point.
Sure.
And you're like, I didn't teach that. Like,
okay.
I don't necessarily think every move that your kid makes is a direct reflection of you. I think sometimes your kid's immature, your kid's a dummy, and your kid doesn't think of the consequences. Like,
he's an adult. He's 21 years old, so he's not a kid. And number two, you mean to tell me, like, I have a hard time believing my son's going to go out of his way to steal something from me with a phone number and then call somebody just for internet clout. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my son's going to have a big YouTube channel and, like, he's got to get his viewership up. Then, God help me. But, like...
Yeah, but... Like,
come on, man.
Austin, this is where I say, like...
Come on.
If your buddies are saying, hey, you can get this and do this, and you're like, there's a little peer pressure there, that ain't what you taught them. That's not those things. That's not a direct. Your mom didn't tell you to go in a pickup truck in the back 40, and they're like, that's not what she taught you.
I wasn't recording
that's
it, though.
Why she was pissed.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't have recorded it and shared it to everybody, though, either.
But not every move. I just don't believe that.
I hear you.
I don't. What's the dad supposed to do about that? That's my point. Like, and I'm not trying to let him off the hook. I'm just saying, like.
If he can't have his own phone on his own kitchen table in his own house still open, like...
I mean, listen, if my son does that and he's 21 years old, in that situation, like, yeah, he's his own man, but I'm going to look at myself and say, all right, I messed up somewhere.
Yeah, and by the way, you might have. That's hard. You might have. You're going to mess up in some spots.
That's the only, that's my goal as a father. I don't care about sport. All I care about is, like, when he's down the line, I don't want to have the conversation where it's like, oh, I went wrong there.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to do.
I got news for you. You're probably going to say that once or twice.
I'm sure I will. I'm looking forward to it. But so far, so good, though.
The podcast.
I mean, hey, we're 10 years into the trial, and so good. So far, so good for the trial run.
Wait till I'm 14.
Yeah, I know for sure. But people don't, like, two things can be true. Did Shedeur Sanders set himself up for a downfall with how he approached this entire draft? Throwing your own party, having, like, making this a giant spectacle.
Your own draft room.
Yes, you set yourself up for it, right? Like, that can be true. But it can also be true, like, I've been there. Like, I've looked at my phone, like, okay, is my cell phone service not working? Like, is something up? And it's stressful, man.
Oh, yeah?
It sucks.
I can only imagine.
It is not a good feeling. And then you're like, okay, well, something obviously has, there's a million things going through your mind. And I'm in central Wisconsin going through this process. He set himself up in front of the world to go through this process.
Here's my biggest
question. It's still not right. Yeah.
As far as him falling, just to begin with, do you think Dion wholeheartedly believed that his son was going in the first round? As much as he said he's going to go 1, he's going to go 2,
I think
it's going to be Travis, then it's going to be Shedeur.
I do as well, because the way that he was talking in interviews where, remember, this is like months ago, but the first conversation was like, we're going to kind of select where he wants to go. There's some teams that we're not really fans of, so we'll see.
Yeah,
like,
it was Eli.
Yeah.
Okay, that I almost have more questions with that, because Dion is supposed to be, of any coach in college football, he's supposed to be the most connected to the NFL. As far as their personnel, the way he talks, you would think that he's got every GM on speed dial, or at least he's got people in every building that are going to give him some information, right? That is not just all hype. And he has at least got a lot of friends in the NFL. Don't you think if he was as connected as we all thought he would be, that he would maybe get the idea, at least from somebody, hey, maybe not a good idea to get your own draft room and everything like that. Maybe not a good idea to do every single interview and say your son's going top 5. Hey, Dion, I know that you love that your son's a great player, but he's not going top 5.
But
so
Hamby,
just kind of lower your expectations so that your son doesn't have this insane expectation and have to take this 5-round fall and look like, and this is public humiliation. This is why it's that big of a story. Hey, save yourself a little bit. Your son's not going top 5. So tone it down a little bit.
But Hamby, this is old soul Hamby speaking here. And I agree with you. But like, what did James Gladstone say? It's entertainment as well. Like, if anybody knows entertainment and hype, guess what, man? It's Deion Sanders.
Absolutely.
So that makes me think he's prioritizing entertainment over his own son.
He's
blinded by it.
He's prioritizing hyping up his son. LeVar Ball did it. Like, listen, if LeVar Ball would have been LeVar Ball,
I care about a damn LeVar.
We wouldn't have known any of his kids, even though one of them's a decent basketball player.
No,
but now one's like a world-renowned rapper. Like, he helped him out. But this is the world that we live in now.
That's facts.
This is the world that we live in. And we don't have to say it's right, but it's just the way that it is. So with Deion, you had a situation where you heard some rumblings like, hey, your son's one of the best quarterbacks, coming out in this draft. And if it's Deion, what is he going to say? Okay, we'll just keep it on the radar. No, because this is Deion's whole way of being.
Yeah, this is what we do.
This is what he does. Hammy, you don't really remember when he played because it's before your time, but it's prime time. That's what it was. So
I mean, he might be like the movement of today's society.
Of course.
That's why we always like him in college, because it's like he was today's society before today's society existed.
Exactly. So if that's how he acted back in college when he was like the pioneer of this whole thing, listen, if NIL and all this stuff would have been invented when Deion was, dude would have been a billionaire. But he's not just going to turn it off now because, it's my son's time. And I love my son, but let's keep it on the DL. No, that's not who they are.
Now, in reality, too, you can tell by his reaction. I mean, he's out partying. The way they handled it, at least in front of cameras, they lived it even to the end.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still out there it doesn't look like he's bothered by being picked in the 5th round. He's got to be bothered by being picked in the 5th round, but it doesn't look like it.
He deserves some credit. Shedeur specifically deserves credit because he was genuinely happy still when he got drafted. Yeah. Not everybody would be able to handle that.
But I think that's how much they get the promotion game.
I think
anytime there's a camera, man, I think these guys are savvy to the promo.
Yeah.
To the brand.
I look at Aaron Rodgers' face when he went late in the first round, how pissed he was.
Totally different. And listen, I'll tell you this, I think Travis Hunter's savvy to this. Mm-hmm. Now, listen, he's got the talent too, but I mean, look at him in that presser on Friday. That is a well-taught person. That's a guy that knows the spotlight, much like Trevor Lawrence. He said minimal words because I ain't taking this down a road I don't need to go. He knows how to handle himself in front of a camera, in front of a mic. He has his own YouTube channel with 500,000 subscribers, and they're following every move around. This is comfortable. This is. Some people don't like the camera. That camera being on is like you brushing your teeth.
Oh yeah.
It's just normal. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty wild. One other thing on this, Cleveland. I got 5 quarterbacks.
Hey, 3 running backs?
Dylan Gabriel has entered the transfer portal. Was the best thing I'd seen all weekend. That was awesome.
I mean, you have 5 quarterbacks. What are they doing?
Joe Flacco.
And everyone who's...
And they took 2 running backs. They could have had Genty.
Oh, you could have got me some money too and took Ashton Genty. I thought you needed a running back. I'll go 2 of them then. Yeah, and it's I think, was it Mel Kiper? Going on with the draft grades? Oh, yeah, that now in retrospect, that makes sense.
Mel Kiper
he gave him an A. Oh, yeah, Mel, once again, as my son would say, he's crashing out.
He
did, dude.
I mean, when Reese Davis has to go from, Mr. Good Morning America and, the nicest dude ever to kind of, talk somebody off of a ledge and kind of get after him a little bit.
That was odd.
You had some problems. That was crazy. I don't know if you haven't seen that. Reese Davis... I liked it though. Place, I respected it.
Everybody loves it, Reese Davis.
How are you? Who's going to be the starting quarterback in Cleveland?
I think they're going to have different packages, Brent. I don't know. With as many as they have.
It might be freaking Joe Flacco.
I would say Flacco gets the early nod.
Over Kenny Pickett? Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is Kenny Pickett even going to be on the roster anymore?
I don't know. You can't keep all 4 of them. Somebody's got to go.
Well, the crazy thing is, too, is that, once again, we'll see how training camp plays out. Sanders could be cut. Sanders could be a camp casualty.
Yeah. How would they draft him?
I think Sanders is more talented from an NFL standpoint than Gabriel.
I agree. And I like...
there's a lot more to like. I think Gabriel's got the resume, though.
Yeah, he had a great college career, but he looks like a college quarterback to me.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Sanders looks more NFL quarterback, envision that.
But you're not going to cut your 3rd rounder.
And Pickett's not much, and Watson's Watson, and and Flacco's 400. So, to be honest with you, the path to get on the field for Sanders, while numerous, doesn't look that difficult if he's any good.
Yeah.
He's going to have an opportunity. And this was totally an owner move, right? Haslam made the call. You could tell by them.
I know.
Stefanski looked pissed.
Which also shows you alignment and stuff in an organization.
True.
That stands out. What are the Jags doing right now? What do they do? You don't want owners making calls like this. Mm-mm. That is not the way to do it. And, they did it. And maybe it works out for them. But it doesn't look like they're going to be happy about it.
Why would
What a mess they've got on their hands.
Oh, Cleveland? Yeah, man. Like, and once again, I'm not sure. I didn't really see like all the Twitter comments. I can assume their fan base is just like, what are we doing? Like imagine coming in here on a Monday and like we represent the Cleveland Browns. Like, what are we talking about?
Well, I mean,
I get Mason Graham, cool. Hopefully, yeah.
They passed up on Travis Hunter and Ashton Genty.
I know.
I mean, could be. I mean, labeled by some as generational talents. That's what they passed up on.
Yeah.
And they had 5 quarterbacks. I mean, the Browns are the Browns. For a reason, I'm not the guy that likes to say that because I know the Jags have been the Jags. But the Browns are on a different level. Yep. Hey, since we're around the NFL right now, do you see the Belichick stuff?
Crazy.
Hey, is everything okay? Honestly.
We got a clip of it. So he was on CBS this morning. So here's the deal, just a little background on Belichick, because I'm kind of like, is this a real clip?
And it's CBS this morning, which is so funny.
He's like, I'm like, is this a real clip?
This is some TMZ stuff.
And then I said, oh, wait. So I listened to it. I'm like, he's got a book coming out.
Right.
So this is a book. This is my favorite thing about book stuff. It's like you got to throw out, if you're going to write a book, you got to go on a tour.
Oh, Brent.
Of all people to go on a media tour, freaking Bill Belichick.
Brent wrote an article when he went on a tour about his article for 2 straight years. The season was done. We're still talking about the article.
That's right. In fact, I'll be in Gainesville next week.
Let's go.
I'm going down to West Palm where Travis Hunter's from. Yeah, we should have created that. That would have been a good little bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, of all people, they even say, like, why did you, like, in this interview, and I don't think this is the part, but he asked about, like, Robert Kraft, like he's not in it and stuff. He's like, well, why did, what's that?
I included it.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. But, so I'm just thinking, when he answers some of this, it's like, well, it's almost like, why did you write the book? It's like, well, somebody told me I was going to make a lot of money if I wrote a book. Like, that's what somebody basically did. They convinced him he's going to make a lot of money if he wrote a book, and then he shows up with a ripped shirt that I would be painting my house in.
Yeah. Hammy, and do we have the question about how they met? Yeah. Okay, thank God.
Let's go. We got it. Here's from CBS this morning.
It's also been a momentous year for Belichick. He was named head coach of the University of North Carolina, the result of a messy split from Robert Kraft and the Patriots in early 2024.
He's got a cold, so I'm not going to kiss him.
I have to ask about Robert Kraft because 24 years together, 6 Super Bowls. Unless I'm wrong, he's not in this book. How come?
He's not. Well, again, it's about my life lessons in football, and it's really more about the ones that I experienced directly.
But he's not even in the acknowledgement section.
Correct.
Gotcha journalism on a Sunday.
You feel like you were treated with dignity and respect when you were let go by Robert Kraft?
Look at that shirt.
Yeah, well, it was a mutual
I know.
decision for us to part ways.
He said fired.
It was a mutual decision.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
You gotta stop.
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
It's a topic
my grandparents used to watch. I try to picture my grandparents if they're still around watching this.
About it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace, as you put it. I love that. There's some great pictures of you and Jordan.
This dude's trying like hell, man.
Oh, I know.
She's a mermaid. It's charming. It's a different side.
It's not charming.
What's the reaction been like?
What's it been like?
To have these different sort of photos. There's another one where you're.
What are the comments saying, Bill?
Meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordan on your feet. She's doing kind of a Titanic pose.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
What he does follow isn't clicks or views, but touchdowns and, above all, wins.
You do seem like you're having a lot more fun these days than you were in other chapters of your life, let's say.
Hey, first of all, why the Navy if shouldn't he be?
Oh, that's
high school.
There's a story behind that. Yeah, he's always rocked that sweat.
Well, I know. I know he's a Navy guy. I'm just saying, but right now, wouldn't you be? UNC?
Well, for sure. But also, that's sweaters from like World War II, man. Like that thing is tattered.
I get the whole persona.
Gosh, that's a bad.
But to
body.
me, this is like I picture him with his like media person or his management or his whatever. It's like, hey, you got this. You got to go on a book tour, Bill. It's like, I'm not going on a book tour.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like, you got to go on this book tour.
And then
Bill.
Jordan
you
told him to go on the book tour.
And Jordan's like, okay, you got to go on the book tour. And it's like, all right, fine. If you guys want me to go on book tour, wait till you see what I wear on CBS.
Yeah.
like that's what I feel like he did.
Listen, like so much to pick apart from this. And like I really don't care about people's relationships. I really don't. But I don't want to say like there's something afoot here, but what's going on?
Why can't we talk about it?
Yeah. Well, that's
makes your mind wander. I've seen some of the stuff this morning. I actually didn't see much of it over the weekend. I just saw it this morning. I understand where people are going with it, but
here's the thing, Brent. How do you think they met? You think he was on Hinge and he put his like the age restrictions from 21 to 80? Probably not. Probably can't do that on Hinge. Do you think she was on Hinge and she said, you know what, like 25-year-olds they're so immature. They're always on YouTube and everything. Let me go and set my age preferences to like 70 to 80. Like, no, probably not. So then if that's not the case, what, do they meet at Barnes & Noble? Do they meet at a
coffee
club?
Shop.
Is Bill Belichick going to the club these days? Probably not. Well, how do they meet? Take it for how you want. Take it for how you want. There's rumors out there, that's all I'm going to say. Not saying it's true, but I'm just...
Oh, there's plenty of rumors.
Yeah.
There's plenty of rumors.
But is everything okay? I don't care how old I mean, whatever, you should care a little bit, but like, is everything okay?
No,
that didn't look okay.
Like, it's funny because a couple weeks ago, like at a UNC practice, it looked like he was having a blast.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like they had him mic'd up and stuff, and it was like, this is kind of cool. Like he looks like he's refreshed and enjoying it, out of the grind of the NFL, something a little different.
Yeah.
And, and I can appreciate that for people. Like, I'm still wondering why the hell he's coaching at 74 years old. To be honest, I say that all the time. Like, go retire, go do more of those poses on the beach if you want.
Yeah.
But obviously, he doesn't want to.
Blink twice if you need help, Bill.
What is Thanksgiving gonna be like? What happens when the family gets together?
Yeah, I don't know. Something I don't lose sleep over.
I didn't until I thought, and I'm losing so much sleep. I used to sleep a great 8 hours. After that interview, and by the way, you need to flex your CBS chops. Get us the director's cut of that interview because they didn't use everything.
I know.
Get us the director's cut, Brent.
It's pretty wild when CBS like you use that director's cut. Like I'm trying to think of like if we go to interview Trevor Lawrence, or something like that. I mean, if we did that. We never. Obviously, they don't care if they ever get an interview with Belichick again, right? Like they're using that, because like I don't think we would get an interview again. Like
I'm just like, dude, I wish my grandparents were around to see, because like I said, it was like a rite of passage in the household when I grew up in. Like every Sunday morning, go to church, check out the show, and like. I don't remember much of it. All I remember is like between each commercial, the sun was different. There's like different artwork. That's all I remember about it.
That's good point.
Didn't leave a lasting impression on me because boring. Just like 60 Minutes. Really boring, right? But like I remember they were like, intense, like really drawn out stories. You got whatever, an 80-year-old or a 70-year-old dating a 24-year-old for all like the olds to observe?
Yeah.
What are those conversations like?
That's a good point. That's a good point. People were watching that in some sort of way.
This is TMZ. This isn't.
CBS had quite a day yesterday. Between that and 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's wild. Unbelievable.
Good God.
I don't know what's going on.
Is Casey coming in today? Do we survey 100 people of how they actually met?
He might
what they thought?
have that.
Oh, I can't wait.
We still do have Paint the player, presented by That One Painter. First Coast. We'll have that coming up in the noon hour. Let's take a time out. Brent Austen Show, the Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. More on the Jags draft still to get to. Casey will stop by. He's got something planned. I don't know what it is. And how the Jags go from 4 wins to the playoffs. Can they do it? More on Travis Hunter as well. Continues to be one of the big stories of the draft. And you're going to see some more articles about just what went into the Jaguars drafting Travis Hunter. I think there will be some interesting tidbits there along the way. Look at all the D linemen. I think people like that, right? To say, okay, let's go. Can some of these guys make the squad? The Jags have 20 undrafted free agents. somebody's making the squad. I mean, I would put right now the over-under at like 2.5 to make the Jaguars as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
We'll see if any of them do. We'll be back on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good, and the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon-Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost, from Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Even better, to celebrate their 10-year anniversary, the team at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are hosting an open house May 1st. Learn about the array of procedures. There's also chances to win big prizes. Come look and feel your best with Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics today.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants.
We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter.
Right now, you can get a free Connecticut reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
It's been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
All right, take us through it.
Oh, man. Yeah, so outside of the university bookstore by the stadium, we're looking at their wall of fame outside, and these 2 guys come out of the football offices, and they ask, hey, where are you guys from and everything. We start talking to them a little bit, and then they go to Ronan, and they go, hey, little man, you got 5 minutes. And, like, we're getting ready to go get some lunch, and Ronan was like, whoa. I'm like, hey, say you got 5 minutes. And Ronan's like, yeah, I got 5 minutes. And it happened to be some assistant coaches that we were talking to and everything, and they opened the gate up for my son. He got to run around on the field by himself.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, and it's it's
very
wild.
nice of them to do that.
No, it was
Really
everything,
cool.
man. Really great people. And yeah, man, I don't know. It's hard to really put into words what that moment there. I mean, what the whole trip meant, but that moment especially, it was crazy. You know, Dave Chappelle always he says this in his last stand-up routine, where he talks about being a dreamer, and he talks about you got to be smart enough to know when you're living in your dream, and you got to be humble enough to know when you're in somebody else's. And that whole trip, especially at that moment, that was on a Friday, I realized, like, dude, this has nothing to do with me. Oregon's fun and everything. I love the city. I love the town. But whatever little man wants to do because this is his time. This is his moment, man. And we had a blast. I can't recommend enough. Eugene's a really cool spot. Brent, the air there, by the way. The air quality. I was gonna bottle it and bring it back for you to breathe in a little bit because, man, you're still hurting. It sounds like, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Like I was gonna just bottle up a little thermos, man. Have you inhale some of that good
nice.
Oregon air, and I think it would have cured all your ailments. But yeah, really cool people there.
That's awesome. So you went to a baseball game on Friday night, which was Oregon State, and they beat them, and so that's a big deal.
Yep.
And then, like the spring game vibe, was it?
Spring game vibe was great.
Packed?
I would say probably 3/4 packed.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And we were talking, because obviously they're so friendly there too. It reminded me a lot of like the Midwest in terms of like friendliness.
Yeah. But
obviously like more like hipstery, granola beard, beards and like tattoos and everything, which is cool. I mean, I fit right in. But they were saying how like whoever like Ohio State played there, for whatever game 2 or 3 when Oregon beat them in the regular season. And they were saying, like, Buckeye fans even said, like, it's not a big stadium, but it's really loud and boisterous, just the way that it's built. And I agree, man. Like, it was a cool experience, and people couldn't have been nicer there. I will say this. Like, I was getting a little nervous because everybody you talk to when you're leaving, they all said the same thing in Eugene. They all go, all right, make sure you be safe out there. And it's like, from what? From what?
Well,
this is a great. What do I have to worry about here? Like, are there bears?
Maybe worse.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe
Sasquatches,
whatever,
never
man.
know.
But yeah, people really
UFOs flying out there. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was good. That was pretty great trip. Good idea. And all work. And well, by the way, Glenn C says Phil Knight effect. You showed me the track and field facility.
So I knew
which is like a stadium.
Well, I mean, I know every year the NCAA, track championships are there.
Yep.
I didn't know how big of a track town it really was.
Huge.
Like, when you enter, it's, hey, welcome to Track Town, USA. And their track stadium, arena, stadium, it's like a football field. It's like a football stadium. It's wild.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. It was cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little local context there. Like that, how good that is.
Yeah.
UNF hosts a lot of these big-time events because that's how good their track is.
Yeah.
So think about that. Now, they don't have the stadium around it. I mean, well, they actually do have a stadium, but it's not built like that, where a lot of the championship stuff is done. But the track alone has been on par with that one. That's why they get all these good events, the surface.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
It's insane.
All right, what else we got going on? Brent Martineau, Austen Lane, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. Thanks for hanging out. Jason Hamby. Case Kurt's going to stop by in just a little bit. I want to get some reaction from James Gladstone over the weekend. And there's so much we gave you on Monday, of course, as well. But we got some more that we can share with you today. And What do we have here? Gladstone on Tootin. He's the guy that I think after Travis Hunter, would you say people are really excited about?
Yeah.
The running back? Now, I put a poll out there this week and said, who are you most excited about? And I put the third round guys and fourth round guys. And the poll actually was won by Wyatt Milam. I had 63% of the people, I think, say the offensive lineman. I just think that's because people love the offensive line.
Well, that or the soundbite that he said.
Yeah, that was good too.
That had something to do with
protecting Trevor Lawrence.
He took a note from Will Campbell.
But but I also think as you got a little bit deeper on Tootin, I think people are like, oh man, he can fly. I just didn't know him very well, like all this stuff. And I think that brings about some promise and hope and excitement. Here's what James Gladstone had to say about him.
Typically, testing is going to play a major part in where a player ends up getting selected. So I must say, once Tootin ran that 40, I don't know that I would have guessed that he'd be available on day 3. But nonetheless, he found himself there taking off pretty quickly at 104. And so we were jacked to be able to be in that position to prioritize him because, at the end of the day, we want to level up the competition across the entirety of the roster, and running back's a spot that we're going to lean on. And as Liam can probably allude to, it's so rarely just a one-person spot, right? It's going to take a collective effort, just like the draft did. And we look forward to the group as a whole, in addition to Quint, coming in and making this thing as rounded as it possibly can be.
So that's on Tootin.
Yeah.
You said this earlier. That was a Cohen. It would feel like it's a Cohen pick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A vision of Cohen. And again, those are the guys that got Bucky Irving last year.
Yep.
So
he's at the Oregon spring game, too.
Oh, was he?
The crowd went crazy for him.
Really?
Yeah. And there's a lot of Bucky Irving jerseys out there, too, from Tampa. Yeah, I think this has Cohen written all over it. I just wanted to say, and listen, I feel like right now, stock is high for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're cool again. I've been seeing on Twitter a little bit, some of the fan base, and listen, fans, do your thing. But so help me God, if we start saying we're rooting for Tootin, I'm shutting it down, Brent.
How about darn Tootin?
No, none of it.
I already used that one.
Just leave it alone. No, you already used it?
Yeah.
Don't set the precedent. Just leave it alone, please. We're the cool team right now.
Okay.
We got Travis Hunter.
That's fair.
We're outside the box thinking, let's not
I'll do
ruin
my
it now
best
with
to try to be cool.
Rooting for Tootin. Thanks, Brent. Oh, there's Coach Rip.
There you go.
Yeah.
Coach Rip.
Yeah.
Rip has been capital letters all day.
Brent, make this shirt.
And a lot of comments.
Brent,
He's been on a heater.
He said, Brent, make this shirt rooting for Tootin. Brent, try it and see what happens. No, you're fine.
I don't want to do that.
Push me all in.
No,
Push me all in.
Push you all in.
Push me all in and let's see what happens.
Here's Gladstone on not drafting a D lineman, and also talk a little bit about best player versus need in this draft.
I think short answer to that is the board always falls certain ways, and you're not going to reach because of what might be a perceived need. So you're always going to take the players that you feel like are going to put the team in the best interest moving forward, and you don't want to ever sort of lean heavily into just one idea of best player available and need. It's some version of balanced dynamic that comes with that. So I do think you'll see us make some moves here in the near future that will in fact address that. Obviously our undrafted college free agents haven't been announced, but those positions were certainly close to filled there, and we'll look towards the pro free agent landscape as well.
Well, they have been announced now. Tootin is scooting. We got Scootin' Tootin'. Rootin' Tootin' is scooting. Holy cow.
It's like the announcer from Bradford.
2 days to be cool.
We had 2 days to be the cool team. We got Travis Hunter. Hype was at an all-time high.
Look, you got Wisconsin. Glenn says he's been to the Tootin' Till in southern Wisconsin. I don't know what kind of establishment that is.
Dude, I hate that. Glenn, you're on your own on that one. I've never heard of that.
Self-incriminating.
And I've been to some places before, too. Who knows?
Do
you think that's where Bill Belichick met his good? I'm not gonna say.
You brought it up. You did it. I don't.
Shut us down.
Daniel Griffiths already promoting tomorrow's Rootin' for Tootin' piece tomorrow at actionsportsjacks.com. Speaking of, very nice segue here. Let's get into Daniel Griffiths' piece today on actionsportsjacks.com. That one, painter, First Coast, paint the player, and why not paint Travis Hunter? And the Heisman Trophy winner, here's some of the stuff that Daniel writes about today on ActionSportsShacks.com, really a deeper dive into the numbers. It's pretty interesting. Look at that first one, right?
Oh, I'm laughing at the watermark there, too.
Oh,
it's a unicorn. I like it.
Very good.
Yeah.
I didn't even.
You didn't. Hey, Brent, it's a giant blue. Okay.
It is.
Okay.
But it wasn't jumping. See how things jump out differently at people.
I guess so. Yeah.
I was just making sure he spelled everything right on the graphic. That's what I was really looking for. 65% contested catch percentage. Look at that. 2014 to 2025, highest of any first-round wide receiver. I mean, think about the wide receivers that have come out in the last decade plus, from Justin Jefferson to Brian Thomas Jr. to Jamar Chase to others. That's pretty good.
Yep.
And on defense, I saw this one. I think Daniel put this out, and I was like, okay, I'm trying to compute this in my mind. That I didn't even know they did this. Closing speed, and they feet per second. Like how much time, how much you're chewing up.
Sure.
Right? And when you notice, like, I do think when you look at elite cornerbacks, this is a trait that you notice. You don't necessarily need to time it, but your eyes notice it. Jalen Ramsey, to me, that was it. Like, if he got beat, he could close.
Recovers.
And recover, right? The great ones are able to do that.
Because it allows you to take more risks.
And they're very good.
Yeah.
Take chances, take some risks. At 5.9 yards of separation on the offensive side, which is just insane.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people will tell you about, and Jeff Loggeman did this with us on Thursday night live when we were on when he got picked, is like the ease of how he runs his routes. It's not like, it doesn't look like it's hard. And he's still getting that kind of separation. I saw some video of him today playing basketball, and it's just like, now, I don't really think he was playing basketball against the best competition, but if you just watch his like acceleration, his ability to like dribble and then accelerate, like his first step kind of stuff, it does look different.
Yeah,
I mean, the kind of, you can just tell when an athlete looks different. This guy looks different. And you always wonder how it will translate to the NFL. Can it look that much different? But guys do. You have Tyreek Hill. He's a different looking guy, right? Mm-hmm. His speed plays differently. I think his twitch, the speed, the fluidity, all those kind of things of Travis Hunter really stand out, even to the naked eye. You don't have to be an evaluator, is my point. And then look at all the snaps. I mean, he averaged 114 snaps. That's another big part of this, by the way. There's like, 140 snaps in a college game on both sides of the ball at the least. Sometimes there's 150 plus. Well, in the NFL, that's not the case.
Yeah.
So if he averaged, even if he were to play to that percentage, 85% on average, you're really talking about, I don't know, maybe 90 snaps.
Sure.
In a game, or 95 snaps. You're not going to have as many as you would in a college game. But here's the difference. In the college game, because you're so gifted and because you're doing both things, you can kind of take some of those off. In the NFL, you can't get away with taking too many off.
Correct.
Like that's not going to play.
Yeah.
From a coaching perspective, from a teammate perspective, and from a skill set standpoint, you can't do that as frequently as you could at Colorado in the NFL, and that's why I think you've got to manage his snaps a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And by the way, game's going to be a little faster. It's going to be a little more physical. Right?
Yeah, and a lot more physical. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's what we're all wondering. That's the elephant in the room, is what can he handle? Correct. What can the body handle? Did you see the act? I didn't think of this at all. But when he's on the plane, this is on his YouTube video, and he's like, I got to get myself a playbook. Playbooks.
Yeah.
So, like, what goes into that? Like, how much of a challenge is that? He's a 4.0 student, but you've got to now...
I mean, Brent.
What?
You think those guys are still taking classes?
Well, I get the class stuff, but it doesn't matter. Like, but I think he can compute things, and he's a smart kid, like those kind of things. I'm not telling you he's a Rhodes Scholar. I'm just saying he's a smart enough kid to be able to compute and get things. Some people can't learn all that.
Sure.
But he obviously can.
Yes. Yeah.
But also, I would say at Colorado and Jackson State, you're just kind of like, hey, let's go play. Sure. Right? More than the NFL is going to allow you to do that. How much of a challenge is that part of it? And how much of the onboarding is, hey, we're only going to give him 70% of the playbook, or do you need to know 100% of the playbook on both sides of the ball?
I can't. Did they use wristbands? The whole team? I can't remember.
They must have.
Okay, I think so. You know, like what I'm saying, where everyone looks. Yeah. Well, this is gone. Maybe, I don't know. Do they use it for him? I don't know. We'll see. But I would assume that
I can tell you this for a fact. I know this. Cohen does not want to use the wristband stuff on offense because he thinks it's slow. I feel like I've talked to him a little bit about this. It just slow. They want him to be like more of a feel the game and player of the game. But
I'm saying for Hunter, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But yeah, you're not going to see, okay, look at the sidelines, look here. Like, that's done. But, in terms of what he has to learn, I always said that the offensive playbook was a lot more to learn than the defensive side. Especially as a receiver, because keep in mind, you think of a playbook, and you think, okay, if I play offensive line, I have to know where this guy's going. No, you only have to know where you're going. The offensive lineman's not going to know what the receiver's going to run. The wide receiver's not going to know how So all you got to know is your position, right? So it's going to be super condensed down, and I think it'll be super digestible for Travis Hunter because he does seem like a pretty well in tune guy. And then on defense, if we're talking about packages here, packages there. I don't think it'll be too much. There's going to be the learning curve there is for everybody. But it's not like he's playing quarterback then playing corner. He's got to be responsible for a certain thing at wide receiver. He's got to learn terminology, which will take him a while. And then on defense, you got to learn terminology, but he knows how to play the game.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be that hard. I'm just saying, I didn't really think about it until I heard him say it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Right? That'll be, Daniel jumps in, Travis Hunter clocked at 21.2 miles per hour in the 81st snap of a game as well. No fall.
Dude's in shape.
He's really, there's this Energizer Bunny kind of feel to him. As a persona, and he's just got now, at 28 years old, at 30 years old, someday down in the league, will he be able to be like that? But, I mean, he's a kid. Think about your kid that has just energy bouncing off the walls. That's this dude right now at this time of his life.
It was funny, too, because I was watching a podcast with Julian Edelman and Puka Nacua was the guest on there.
Okay.
And Edelman went to Puka. He's like, if you could give kids one advice, if you're in middle school or high school or whatever, in terms of what you need to work on to be a great wide receiver, what would you tell them? And he said the first thing I would do is make sure that you're in shape, because when we talk about the third and fourth quarter, everybody slows down. But if you can be consistent with your route running in and out of your breaks in the fourth quarter and you don't slow down, that'll be the distinct advantage right there. So having, I forgot who said that, but with Travis Hunter being clocked or whatever, that's really telling.
Yeah.
Because the game does slow down a little bit in the third and fourth quarter for most people.
Yeah, that was Daniel Griffiths. Again, you can read the whole article, actionsportshacks.com. The other thing, I saw somebody mention this briefly last week. It's he's also playing in Denver with the altitude.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Boulder.
With
the altitude. Well, now here you're going to have to deal, and he's from here, so he's used to it, or knows about it. Deal with the heat.
Yeah.
That part of it. How much can you play in September versus how much can you play in November?
That's a good point.
Which, from a weather standpoint, but then also the November one is how beat up are you?
Yeah.
So there's a lot to manage here. There's a lot that goes into this for the Jags. And as you say, as we say, this organization hasn't always been good at that.
Yeah.
One other thing I find interesting, we don't love when people move positions. We haven't liked that on our show because the Jags haven't been great about it.
Hasn't worked out well here, no.
What's interesting is their 2 third-round picks are moving positions.
Yeah.
They're going from corner to safety. He has not played a ton of safety. He played safety at the Senior Bowl, I think was it.
Yep. But to be fair, he's got you see the instincts, though.
He's
to play
got
safety.
the game for it.
Yeah.
So they think it's natural, and it might be easy. I'm just telling you, he's listed as a corner.
I hear you.
And then Milam played tackle, and they're going to move him to guard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really?
Yeah.
The stuff we
I know.
We hate that part.
Yeah.
Also, a left-handed pitcher, by the way, is Milam.
Which is,
Milam, was going to go to Marshall to play baseball.
And then how big is he again?
Big dude, 6'6".
Yeah, but how much does he weigh? He's
that's what 3-something, right?
Yeah. Dude's got a cannon.
Yeah, he must.
Then we also drafted Dan Campbell, the dude from
Kaiser?
USC.
Oh yeah, Monheim.
Yeah.
That was the guy.
That's right. Friend of the show, mock draft.
I have to go back and look at how many of these, because I don't think there were a lot of them.
He was one of them.
But he was one.
Dan, I see. Yep.
Anybody else?
We had Milam at least one time.
We did have Milam?
Yes.
Okay.
We did not have Ransaw. I think we had Kaiser once in the 6th.
Okay. Kaiser, you see that the story about Kaiser's interest. He was at college forever, so much so that Hainsey played with him at Notre Dame. Hainsey's been in the league for 5 years.
Dude's got some experience.
I mean, that's
crazy,
nuts.
man.
Which is also interesting. Everybody wants to get younger.
Yeah, no.
They take him in the 4th round, right? And they say, we're going to take an older player. Does that tell you anything?
I mean, there's an experience factor there, right? I mean, it doesn't like stick out to me.
That used to be a thing that would be a deterrent.
No, for sure.
I
but
feel like.
Once again, this is kind of the Rams that they've done with free agency. Like they've taken older guys, and it's worked out well. So I just think like you're bringing a level of experience.
There's this good that Travis Hunter's 21.
Well, yeah, most of their guys are still very young players. There's keep an eye on this too. There's a belief. Well, there should be a belief in this league that although you develop players, it's not a developmental league, right? You develop players to hopefully get better and learn how to be pros and all this stuff, but it's not like you should be able to come in and play skill set wise from day one. This is not freshman year of college to junior or senior year of college or freshman year of high school. And I think sometimes we take the draft and take a 5th round pick or a 6th round pick and are like, well, don't worry, in 3 years, no, that ain't it. Like, you're supposed to be able to come in and compete right away. And then you can teach some of the other stuff and hopefully elevate a guy's play.
Yeah.
And a player's play and hopefully still have an ascension like we're seeing with the Trayvon Walker. But Trayvon Walker could come in and play right away and you could still ascend his game given the tools that you have and the coaching you have and everything else. But like this, as somebody said to me, it's not a developmental league.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you want, and so Kaiser to me speaks of that. It's like you're not predicting Kaiser's going to make an impact 3 years down the road. If he was 21, you might. But like, to me, he's the replacement for Foye next year.
Sure.
Fair enough?
Or right now, depth, obviously.
Or with depth in special teams right now. But like, okay, he's probably replacing Foye next year.
Yeah.
Him or Ventrell Miller, or there's going to be a battle there or whatever to see. So that part's pretty interesting. All right, let's take a break. Brent and Austen Show, Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network. Casey joins us when we come back. He's got a little draft trivia for us. We'll find out how we do in that and put a bow on the show up until 1 o'clock today. No gate fees replays, by the way, at 1 o'clock. And also, we've got a bunch of high school baseball second-round playoffs tonight and throughout the week. Softball district championships, lacrosse, girls and boys, flag football, like all on display this week. So it's playoff time as we hit the end of April and start the month of May here in Northeast Florida on the high school ranks in all different sports. We'll be right back on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network.
Are you about to graduate high school and haven't decided on what you want to do when you get done? Well, one option is to apply to become a student in the Electrical Training Alliance of Jacksonville. Their program offers structured classroom and online training along with on-the-job training so that you can earn while you learn. Still not convinced? The folks at ETA Jacks are a tuition-free 4-year apprenticeship program. There is no tuition and no student debt. Just pay for your books and your fees. That's it. Now, speaking of pay, students, they start off making $40,000 per year, including benefits, and they graduate, get this, making over $80,000 per year, including those sought-after benefits. Now, that sounds pretty good to me, and if that sounds good to you, it should check off a lot of boxes. So head on over to etajacks.org and apply by May 15th. Again, the website right here, etajacks.org. Don't wait, apply today.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Save 10% off any water heater, plus no trip charge. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
For the game day hustle and every day in between, juggling my show Jag Social to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
I'm ready to show my hand, ready to take a stand, wait on a sign above, and I am ready, ready, 'cause I just live for the game, 'cause I just live for the game, 'cause I just live for the game.
Action Sports Jacks is the biggest brand in Jacksonville, and we're excited to add another partnership for this team's biggest season yet. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is now the official streaming network of the Jacksonville Sharks for their 15th season.
The Jacksonville Sharks are your champions.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Is this your music?
No, I said, can you find some game show music? And he was like, he liked the message. So I didn't really know what was going to happen there. But yeah, this is game show music for sure. Nice job, Hamby.
Hey, what did I got? Did you guys feel a certain way at all about like Travis Hunter dancing in Jags headquarters? Like they were singing the song and him coming down the hallway.
That was cool.
Kind of fun, right?
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
It's fine. I talked to a couple people who were just like, a little corny or whatever. I was like,
really?
So what?
Did we get a word on the stuffy?
You know what's crazy? I don't think we have one. I mean, the guy's got his own YouTube channel, and it's still not out there.
Couldn't ask the hard-hitting questions, could we?
That's a good point.
I was...
Gotta ask.
I mean, hey, man. Guy had a stuffy off the plane. We're going to need to know the background with that.
I know. I actually did say after.
That's actually
I was like,
a great point.
I was like, why didn't I ask?
Why didn't anybody ask?
I know. I did after Friday. I was like, shoot, I forgot. We never got the answer. Because we had asked on the show, and I never got the answer. And quite frankly, I asked a bunch of questions, so I could have easily snuck it in.
Yeah, I mean, if it's
Liv made me ask about his wedding, like getting married. So, I mean, Brent. I went TMZ on the wedding.
Brent. Brent, you're better than that.
When is that?
Brent, you're better than that.
He was like, it's private. It's actually out there. It's like May 24th.
Okay.
So
Scrub. I got a week on him.
Scrub. It's a hell of a long.
I mean, hey,
I was just telling these guys, like the same as Trevor. I mean, you get drafted and then married like the next month.
Yeah.
Or did Trevor get married the week prior? He might have got married in April. Might have been before the draft.
Yeah.
Was it? I don't know.
He has to me, he feels a lot like Trevor in the sense that he is so comfortable in the role he's in.
Sure.
Being a star.
Yep.
You guys get that sense?
Oh, he embraces it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Trevor I think Trevor kind of, I don't say he accepts it. Like he understands the game.
Yeah.
I think like
It's
Travis
not big
Hunter.
for him,
No, but
right?
I think Travis Hunter like almost like embraces it. It's like, this is part of my celebrity, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was all over it in high school. He knew.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Trevor didn't, but like Travis Hunter was very aware of it from the get.
And even, by the way, even though like what's Trevor 25 and Travis Hunter's 21, so even that age gap, 4 years, like we keep the game keeps changing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and that where your celebrity starts.
Yep.
Like Trevor wasn't doing YouTube,
and Trevor wasn't getting NIL. Well, I mean, maybe.
Okay, yeah, he wasn't.
Okay, he wasn't.
We'll say
he wasn't publicly getting.
We'll
NIL.
say Trevor wasn't getting NIL,
and definitely not as much as maybe Hunter. Like Hunter might have been getting NIL in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, it's certainly possible. Yeah.
Right. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, maybe not legally. Who knows?
Sure.
Hey,
I gotta know about the stuffy. I'm sorry. I gotta know about it.
I'm
though.
disappointed that we don't know either. Because now you referenced that it was something Pokemon related.
I didn't even see it.
It's like a giant. I asked Ronan about it. He didn't know. Maybe it's
Because
Pokemon.
apparently
I don't
his
know.
fiance had one too.
See.
Oh, now I gotta know, Brent.
See, here's the
It's a
problem.
couple
Again, I
things?
learned this after the fact.
I know.
The problem is now when you bring it up, it's kind of weird. Because like if you bring it up in the moment, it's like, oh, you have it. You got off the plane with it. You're gonna bring it up one day after practice. He's gonna be like, what?
It's gonna be week one of the regular season, and you're gonna be like, hey, hey, remember that Travis that you were? Yeah.
Remember when you got off the plane with a stuffed animal? What is that?
Yeah, that's true.
Bro, I just scored twice. What are you talking about? It's like, no, this is what I need.
It's not like I've never asked a weird question though, so that'll be all right.
Can you go through all the weird questions?
So, like, I don't. Is this any Pokemon?
That is no Pokemon.
That is not a Pokemon.
Casey knows Pokemon.
That's not. It's like a parrot.
Like it's like a sloth.
Sloth.
That's what people had mentioned in the chat Friday, right? It's like a sloth, yeah.
Okay. I don't know, man.
It looks like it could be the mascot for the Orlando Magic.
Oh,
It's not,
hold up. Hey, let Austen Lane do the deep diving research here.
Oh, did you find it?
Do you know that he has an NIL deal with Squishmallows?
That's it. Well, that's actually not a Squishmallow though.
Are you sure?
Unless they have new ones.
I
My
think
dog has hundreds.
No. Hey, Ronan's got a bunch of them.
They're
I bet
always
that's a squish.
circular.
No, they're like it's like a giant marshmallow. I bet that's something with Squishmallows.
Some sort of kind, yeah.
Yeah.
So he has an NIL deal with them.
Well, I'm sure he's got. Well, now it's like a regular endorsement deal.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is? Remind me what Squishmallows is.
It's like a
They're just
circular stuffed animal.
yeah.
That's a wild. That might tell you about him a little bit more too.
Oh, he's about the money?
No, it's just that who has what college kids got a deal with that.
Once again, hey, I don't care because you're a freak athlete.
No,
like I said,
I
this
like
is Mason Graham.
He's a different cat.
Bust. If this is Mason Graham coming off the plane, Casey with that.
I think if it was
Bust.
Mason Graham, you would have asked a different question to start.
Bust.
Be like, hey Mason, what's going on with the stuffed animal? But with Travis Hunter, it's fine.
Yeah, so he has a confirmed NIL deal with Squishmallows,
That's wild.
and now it's a partnership, I guess.
So is that technically a stuffed animal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
All right.
Well, let me go to the website see if we can get a check. I mean, Brent, you might have to get one for our next winner. How about the winner of Casey's games gets a Travis Hunter Squishmallow?
Ah, there you go.
If they were smart, as soon as you go to their website, it would be right there.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe it is.
Because they would make his own if you're really smart.
Oh, maybe that's the one that's going to be his own. It's just not out yet.
It better be. That's all I'm going to say. Now, Casey, I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at squishmallows.com. I'm not seeing one with legs. So
I told you. They're circles.
Yeah.
They're always circles.
All right. Well, whatever. We'll see.
That'd be
Maybe
pretty.
it's something like maybe it's a new line coming out.
I was gonna say
they would be smart.
That'd be pretty wild if he has a deal with Squishmallow and he was carrying some other stuffed animal. That would be major stuffed animal beef in the stuffed animal world.
I don't even know what would be a beef. Like, who's the other person you're beefing? Squishmallow, I just learned about.
Man,
and who's another stuffed animal company?
I mean,
this is out of my realm.
Mattel?
Build-A-Bear?
Build-A-Bear. Yep. Build-A-Bear.
I've got a couple over-unders for you guys as we finish up the Travis Hunter conversation, or at least for now. Over-under 700 yards this season.
All-purpose? Get him involved in the jet sweeps? I don't know.
No, it says receiving
yards.
700 on the number?
700.5.
Over.
Take the over, too. I mean, if he's playing wide receiver, too, yeah.
Hamby?
Over.
Has to be.
Look at you guys.
Bro, if he's the second overall pick as a receiver and doesn't have 700 yards, something's gone wrong. I hate to tell you.
Over under total. Remember, they're going to run the ball a lot. Over under total reception, 70.5.
Under.
70 seems high.
A lot of bubble screens.
What is that? How many is that a game? What does that work out to? Hamby, math it.
That's 17 games.
17, 70, carry the one.
Mm-hmm. Hamby?
Somewhere.
About 4 a game.
4.5 probably.
4.5 a game?
That's it?
I'll go over then. 4.5 receptions a game?
It's actually more than that.
They can't be.
No, 4 times 17 is 68.
Oh, yeah. All right. 4.5.
Yeah,
Roughly.
okay. There you go. Good math.
Yeah, I'll take over.
They want to run the ball, though.
5.5 touchdowns.
Oof.
Trevor, don't throw touchdowns.
They're going to run the ball.
Under.
4.5.
5.5.
Oh, 5.5? What do you got, Brent? What are you thinking? Feel free to play along, too, as well.
I'm going to say over. Score touchdowns.
I'll say
You're
over.
going to live up to the word.
I'll say over. Yep.
How many did Brian have last year? 8? Does that sound right?
Pick 6 as well.
Oh, yeah. Does that count?
Oh,
no.
count?
This says receiving touchdown.
How many did Brian? I'm sorry. What did you say, Brent?
How many did Brian Thomas Jr. have touchdowns? 8? Does that sound right?
I think so.
I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So if he had 8, he maybe stays at there, and then you can get 7 or 6 for Hunter. Yeah, that makes sense. I think you could do that.
Under.
Yeah.
Because how many did Christian Kirk have in usually? Like
6.
Handful. Yeah.
4 or 5. 6.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. I think there are some fantasy impacts of Hunter, right? How the fantasy world's going to treat some of his stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Haven't they already mapped it out a little bit?
Yep.
So will he be a very will you go draft him high?
No.
I mean,
No.
not outrageously, no.
No, I don't think so. What do you think he falls? What round?
Well, because he's him, probably depends on how many teams in your league, but say roughly 12. I'd say you're talking like the 4th round.
No shot.
Yeah.
0 shot.
You think it's going to be higher?
Brian Thomas Jr. didn't even go that high, I don't think.
That's a little bit of a different situation. You got to keep in mind this is Travis Hunter, and people are just going to want him because he's Travis Hunter.
True.
Correct.
Yeah, they want him on the squad.
Pops just sent me this.
Ooh.
So everywhere you see Hunter, you'll see the wolf. Whether it's on the sidelines as 7-on-7 tournaments or in his car while driving to the mall, the wolf goes everywhere but school. And of course, the wolf has a name, Rod Ruff.
Bro, have glasses on?
Okay, so it's not a squishmallow.
Yep. Bro has glasses on.
All right, now I'm pissed off at myself for not asking about the wolf.
You see, Hamby, number 1, thanks to your dad. Number 2, I'm mad at your dad because now you're opening up what is this? Why? Like, there's got to be a story behind it.
This is old, definitely. This is like high school, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's way back.
And that dude's followed him wherever.
So he still had him. Obviously different.
Well, you had to upgrade.
So that was a wolf that we saw. I would not have made that out.
That doesn't mean what we saw this time was a wolf.
Oh, okay.
This is years ago.
So maybe he's upgraded.
And he's downgraded the size.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing is somewhat large.
I think it's huge.
He's an interesting cat, man. But he's all ball.
Yeah, I don't care. Like I said, any other player, but I'm like, okay, well, what's going on?
I heard he was bowling till like 2 a.m. in Green Bay. Like he went out partying.
He was bowling?
He was just bowling.
Well, Brent, there's really only 2 options in Green Bay. You're either going to go bowling and drinking. Like, take your poison.
Well, he picked the bowling.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
Go bowling.
Yeah.
Good. We don't have that problem.
Did you see all the players complaining about Green Bay, too?
I heard
that. Yeah. What do you do?
Hopefully they won't be complaining about Jacksonville in about 5 or 6 years.
They aren't wrong. I told this story before, too, and I forgot what the dude's name was. He's a running back from Troy. I played with him, Brent. Played for Green Bay then, eventually. Had a decent career with Green Bay.
Not Deji Kareem.
No.
He didn't play
Southern Illinois. I can't remember his name, but Troy guy goes from Jacksonville, goes to Green Bay, and like his second day in Green Bay calls me up, and I thought like something was up because he called me up at 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, what's up, dude? He goes,
what the bleep is there to do in Green Bay, Wisconsin? I go, not much. You either go drinking or that's about it. He's like, man, I hate it.
Since then, they've built it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, what we got, Casey?
Well, after another segment idea got bumped last night about 1 a.m., I was like, all right, I got to present something to Austin. So I came up with, I looked through Wikipedias and random things to find out things about the Jags dudes that they just drafted, and then you'll see if you can figure out who they are.
So a little trivia.
Trivia.
This is draft picks of all time or just draft picks from this
Just
past?
this draft.
So there's, okay.
People that the Jags just drafted.
This year.
Not undrafted free. There's no undrafted free agent answers. It's just dudes that they picked. They called their name.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have to guess which player it is.
That's the goal.
Fair enough, man.
So first one, and this one's pretty tough. Which one plays offense and defense?
Okay,
I'm
that's
just
gonna be
kidding.
Travis Hunter.
Just kidding.
Boom, put me on the board.
I am just kidding.
Yep.
You can put it on the board.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate that.
That's pretty good.
What is that?
You hate that?
I hate it.
What is that?
He's the
White
was
Sox
the White
announcer.
Sox announcer.
Oh.
Another one for Paulie.
How do we? Okay.
That was pretty good.
Is that just like general knowledge?
Yeah,
Somewhat.
he's been
Hawks,
doing
baby.
it for a long time.
Okay.
He's still alive?
Ooh.
It doesn't really.
I didn't feel like he was old. He was old.
He was old.
Really?
I think he might have died. Potentially.
Can't talk a lick about the NBA, but we're talking about White Sox.
Nope, he's still
It's all
alive.
good.
83.
Still with us. Good.
I love Hawk.
He's a good
I
dude.
don't like the gimmicks, but I love Hawk.
All right, here we go for real. Which Jaguars draft pick is cousins with former NFL DB Dre Kirkpatrick?
Oh, I did see this too.
I feel like I saw it.
I saw this. I saw it. Relax. Let me think about it.
Drake Kirkpatrick, by the way, he was in the league for like a decade. I didn't realize
Long time.
He's got NFL ties. I mean,
No, good guy.
Are we going Caleb Branshaw?
Is that your guess?
Yeah, I'm going Caleb Branshaw. I remember I read
Casey,
it
is this a
once.
team game or are we 1v1ing? This is Brent Martineau
Shout
Austen.
it out.
I don't know.
You can jump in.
You can play. Yeah.
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I want it to be 1v1 versus y'all.
Okay,
That's fine.
Well, I said it first.
It is Caleb Branson. You are correct. Which Jaguars draft pick had an NIL deal this past season with Bo Billa Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram? Who seems like a Jeep Dodge Ram guy?
And where is Bo Billa?
Jeep Dodge Ram guy.
I'm going to say that's West Virginia and Milam.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would say too. But for the sake of trying to beat Brent here, I'm gonna say Jack Kaiser.
Jack
Oh,
Kaiser.
good call.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah,
good.
kind of dad car.
You got Bo Billum in South Bend.
He did sound like it. It's a good call.
That's the
believe
White
he's
Sox
that old.
announcer.
I thought
huh?
he was a younger
Oh,
guy.
was he? He's not doing it anymore?
Yeah, he retired.
No, he's a geezer, man.
Yeah, I didn't realize
No,
that.
he's old.
Did he retire or was he asked to leave?
He retired.
He retired. He retired a while ago because I remember the last time they were at the Trop, we were up there just causing havoc, trying to get a bunch of stuff done. All right, which Jaguars draft pick has a wiener dog that won a wiener dog race in 2023?
Okay, well, I'm going to say this is not the dog I saw him with. But I think I saw Tootin owns like a breeding, a dog breeding place.
Okay.
Okay.
So
You got to go with that.
I'm going with Tootin.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go with that. I mean, what kind of guy would own a wiener dog in this era?
2023, so it's been a couple years.
Okay, yeah, but still.
Won the race.
Give me Wyatt Millum.
Yes.
Yes!
Wow.
To skip ahead, though, I did have the question: which Jaguars draft pick owns a dog breeding business called Monster House XLs?
Okay, so go and get Brent that point.
All right, so we're going to go 3-1 Austin.
Oh, pretty wild that he owns a dog. I didn't even know you could own a dog breeding place. I guess
I didn't either.
I didn't know that was like. How do you find that?
How do you what?
Like as a college kid,
Yeah.
Like
To
of all
own a
things to
dog
get
breeding
into,
place.
to own a dog breeding place. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Is that a franchise like Monster or whatever? Like,
No, it didn't.
I
Look
mean,
like
you could
it.
just, I feel like it's just an LLC. Like,
well, yeah, but like
we got.
I have an LLC. Brent has an LLC. At no
Sure.
point was I like, you know what, my LLC should be dog breeding.
Oh no, I feel you, man.
Exactly.
I feel you.
It feels
I
like
feel
there'd be
you.
a lot of
It's
work
a lot of
involved with
energy.
that,
I'm sure
right?
he's got I'm sure his brother or something runs it.
Yeah.
He's not running it.
I
pretty
looked
cool.
forever on something on that guy, and then I found the dog breeding thing. I was like, perfect, and then Brent just ruined it. All right. So this one: how many college football teams did Jacksonville Jaguars draft picks play for? So what I'm asking you is like Travis Hunter. The answer is
2.
2.
Sure.
So in total, all of their draft picks, how many college teams did they play?
Taking the NIL into play.
Wow, that's a good one. We had 9 draft picks, I
Well,
think.
at least you know Kaiser only played for 1.
That's a good point.
Kaiser is a winner.
Good math. All right. Give me 1 second, and you can come up with your number. I'm going to go...
What are we doing?
Okay.
What do you got?
I'm counting.
What do you got?
14.
I actually think it's less than that. I think it's 12.
12.
Dang.
They actually have like Navy.
Navy's a winner.
Yep, Navy's
one,
a winner.
obviously, Milam is one of West Virginia, I'm pretty sure.
He's a winner.
Yep.
And, oh, shoot, there was somebody else I was thinking of. I thought there was somebody else with just one.
There is one more one. Yeah.
Either I was thinking I think I was thinking Syracuse guy. Yeah, just one? Syracuse? Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, which is pretty wild in this day and age.
Oh, yeah,
To actually,
for sure.
that like 9 draft picks, only 12 schools, that's got to be on the low end. I wonder if
Loyalty.
does that factor in?
Loyalty wins out a little bit. I don't know if I don't want to say it factors out. I'm not sure, Brent. It could be.
I doubt
know.
it. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's a weird one to kind of fit in. But I'm just kind of curious, right?
Yeah.
All right, I got 2.
One of the Jaguars draft picks will open training camp under the age of 21, so he'll be 20. Who is that?
Last year that was Cam Little. Remember?
Yes. It's not Jack Kaiser.
It's not Kaiser. We know Hunter's over 21.
Yep.
Who's the young cat on this team? I think.
Okay.
Go ahead. You go.
I'm going to say
go first.
little Quinn Allen Jr.
That's how I was going to go with, so I won't go with him. I think you're right. It's definitely not Milam. It's definitely not Navy kid.
Navy kid's closer than you'd think.
Who else would they pick in the 6th round? Am I blanking on here?
Lane.
That was a Navy kid,
but they picked 2 of them.
Jalen McLeod or
McLeod.
I'm learning.
All right, I'm going to go with McLeod.
It was the Quinn Allen.
Yes. I thought he was the youngest one.
I was going to give you a bonus on who's the oldest, but I think you guys know the answer.
Yeah, we got that one.
All right. The Jaguars posted this, basically, and tagged each and every one of these human beings on Instagram. One of these humans did not follow the Jags back. Which player did not follow the Jags back on Instagram?
Brent, you go first.
He is, as of last night.
I have a good idea.
He is on this list.
I have a good idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Hunter.
Well,
and I can tell you that this human is active on Instagram because when I went to it, he had a story. I clicked it and then saw he didn't follow. I was like, bro, you better figure it out if you want to play.
Okay.
Monheim.
Brent, who are you taking?
I feel like it's an offensive lineman too, so I'll go with Milam.
I'm going Lane. Just Navy dude doesn't have time for.
That's a good call.
He's busy.
It is Lane.
Yeah, man.
Very good.
Come on.
Good job.
Come on, man.
You're good at this.
Join all this draft
go to
class.
trivia
Join all this
night.
draft class. Yeah, let's go.
Social media doesn't run with that last name.
That's a good point. Sure doesn't.
That's fair.
Hey, do you know, just real quick on Lane, I find it pretty interesting that they amended it this year. It's like he's the 19th player coming out of Navy to be drafted.
Okay.
First one to come out of the secondary. First one the Jags have drafted out of Navy, out of the Naval Academy. And first midshipman to be drafted since 2020 in the NFL. I think the Miami Dolphins drafted a kid a few years back. Well, they've changed the rule this year, or I think it went into effect this year, that I forget the exact terminology, but the Secretary of Military can target 3 players from each service academy that can get put in the selected reserves category.
Okay.
To pursue their professional sports career.
Gotcha.
And so, because remember there was that whole story about Detroit a few years back, like he wasn't going to be able to play right away, I think because he had to go serve. And so they've amended that because they think a guy like Lane being in the league
only helps
will promote the armed services and retain kids in the armed services to be able to play someday and live out their professional dreams. And so their service stuff gets pushed out a little bit more to the selected reserve category. And I'm not familiar with all that exact terminology, what it means, but just thought it was pretty interesting that what I read is it went into effect this year.
Yeah.
So
no, that's cool. I mean, it makes sense though, doesn't it? Like I'm sure recruiters
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Instead of having to go to high schools and be like, "Hey, you got a scholarship? How about you just come join the Naval Academy instead?" Now it's like, well, look, you can,
yeah,
do both.
I think pretty smart.
Yeah.
All right, you got the dog breeding one, so then there's two more. Which draft pick? You're going to take the offensive lineman out here. Who had the most scrimmage yards in college football last season that the Jags picked it?
The most scrimmage yards.
Yep.
So we're talking punt return too, right?
Talking yards from scrimmage.
Yep. Okay.
According to the website I used.
Okay.
I did not do the hand.
Brent, I think am I going first or you going first?
You can go first.
I mean, isn't the obvious one Travis Hunter? But
I mean,
that might be two.
He hasn't been an answer yet.
But, and this is just for the team, not for the whole NCAA football? Or is this NCAA football?
No.
Okay, just
most
for the team.
scrimmage yards for who they drafted.
Gotcha.
Humans
Okay.
they just drafted.
Give me Tootin.
Tootin.
We avoid the obvious.
Wyatt Millum.
Wouldn't that be something?
Put my draft picks up again, if you don't mind, Hamby.
I can just turn them to you.
I mean, we can obviously. There's not a lot of options here.
There's really three, yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with LeQuint because I think he can also help in special teams.
LeQuint Allen Jr.
There we go.
Dang it.
Last one.
5-3. I can't win, but
yeah.
Most touchdowns in college football last season of these humans. Again, three options.
Gosh,
I do want to remind
I feel like I've seen him in the end zone like every play.
I do want to remind you, Travis Hunter has yet to be an answer. So, would I really do a whole thing without having Travis Hunter as an answer?
You would, just to throw us off, and then you would say it just to throw us off some more. But did Tootin have that many? I mean, dude averaged 6 point something a carry. I'm taking Travis Hunter. Yeah.
Well, then I'll take Tootin.
LeQuint Allen Jr.
Oh man, golly, it's
It was right there, Brent. It's right there.
LeQuint, man, he
bro is good.
He's intangibly rich production.
Intangibly rich production.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And he's their youngest guy, so might be something there.
Yeah. Again, the running back room. Really, one of the big stories coming out of this is the running back room.
Yeah.
And how much they're going to try to remake that. Now, they only brought in one undrafted free agent, but, I mean, remember they've got, what's his name? Keelan Robinson from last year who didn't even really play.
I do remember that.
So how do they view him? How do they view ETN? How do they view Bigsby? Like, who's their starting back? Is it a mystery?
LeQuint Allen Jr.
In September?
That's what I'm pulling for.
Is it really up for grabs who their number one running back is?
Yes.
In September.
I think it has to be.
Yeah,
Yes.
might be.
It's gonna be that. I mean, honestly, in terms of training camp battles, that's the one. Yeah.
Well, I think they'll be more than that. I mean,
Well,
I think
I know,
like
like,
corner,
defensive tackle,
Corner.
sure, but yeah, corner. Okay.
Running back's probably the sexiest one, though.
But I'm saying the most where it could go either way. Like,
yeah,
you have a pretty good idea of defensive tackle. What will probably happen?
I would
have
agree with
no
you on
idea at
defensive
running
tackle.
back. But I have no idea at running back. Like,
Yeah.
was Tank Bigsby going to get the start just because the guy, is a traditional first down back?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that. I don't think we know running back, or I would still keep corner open.
Did Bucky Irvin start right away?
No.
Rashad White did.
I mean, they rotated, but it was Rashad White's back.
So maybe it doesn't matter who actually wins.
Well, that's a good point. You earned that about a handful of games in. And can remember, Travis Etienne was a starting back last year until
Whoever the
Bigsby kinda
third
took
string
over.
running back is, I'm taking in the fantasy.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Hey, I will bring up an NBA topic, actually, because I watched a lot of that Lakers game.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
How surprising. Lakers down 3-1.
Yeah, it's not how the NBA scripted it, that's for sure.
No, I didn't. The crazy thing is LeBron played
Who are they playing?
fantastic defense, Minnesota. He played fantastic defense in that fourth quarter. I thought
Played
that
great
was,
defense.
I don't like
Doesn't
that.
get-
I don't like that the replay thing, man, on the call.
Yeah,
I don't,
but it's the right.
too much replay.
There's a lot of replay in the NBA.
But it's the right call. I
But
mean,
they're in the market to get things right, though. So
yeah,
I'm not mad at them.
Yeah. Although if you watch the Pistons game, they did not get that call.
They
right.
didn't get it right
Yeah.
with the replay. Well, you know what the funny thing about replay for me is that the guy when the refs come out, they say, and LeBron will shoot too. It's not like number 23 will shoot too.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
just-
LeBron will shoot too.
Just a first name basis, like you guys are hanging out after the
Which
game.
makes sense, but it's just kind of funny the
Kinda.
way it's said.
Kind of.
On the
Will they come back?
Hardaway thing,
I don't
real
think so,
quick,
Brent.
The thing that annoys me about replay in NBA is like if you can replay all this other random crap,
I know.
they should be able to look at the Hardaway play.
Well, and when you
in
can
my
come
opinion,
when after the game, when the refs come out and say, "Yeah, we made a mistake,"
yeah.
how about you say it during the game and let them shoot some free throws then? Like,
Luka, by the way, looked lazy in that game to me. Is that why Dallas got rid of him?
You sound like Nico Harrison.
Man, I was going to say, Brent's been drinking that Nico Harrison Kool-Aid. I mean, yeah, Brent, okay.
Didn't look like he wanted to shoot at times. Like, he had a wide open three at the top of the key, and he dishes it off.
Yeah.
Good teammate. Yeah, I don't know. That's odd.
Yeah.
And I like Luka. I'm a big Luka fan. I'm just saying, like, I thought LeBron, again, offensively, maybe not, but I thought he was trying to will them to win.
Well, yeah.
I didn't see that with Luka.
Luka dropped 38 points, by the way, Brent. So it wasn't like a lack of effort.
Gosh.
But on defense, he's.
I know what he is on defense.
Look at Joker though too. Like Joker is not like this defensive juggernaut, but like he's a good basketball
I just
player.
say in crunch time, it was that fourth quarter. I mean,
Do you have it up how many Luka had in the fourth? Can you find that out quickly?
I think LeBron had none, right?
LeBron had none, I'm pretty sure.
I can't find that.
But also, like Redick might have wasted it because he played 46 minutes. They played every minute in the second half. Is that going to burn them now in like the rest of the series?
They're not beating them 3 times in a row. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think. I mean, they're talented enough to, but I don't think they're going to.
I don't think it's going to happen either. I think Ant's kind of progressed a little bit now, man.
All right, back at it tomorrow, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. For Austen Lane, Casey Kurtz, Jason Hamby, I'm Brent Martineau. Join us for the rest of the day on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network and tonight on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Have a good Monday, everybody. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
The schedules are out for another summer of soccer here in Jacksonville with the Armada men's and women's under-23 squads, starting with the ladies and the home opener on May 24th. 2 weeks later, they're back in Northeast Florida for a June 7th matchup. The season wraps up with a pair of Friday night home matches June 20th and the 27th. As for the boys in blue, they debut against a couple league newcomers on May 9th and 17th respectively, with more home dates on May 31st, June 14th, and June 21st. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants.
We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter.
Right now, you can get a free Connecticut reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give That One Painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with That One Painter First Coast on your team.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard Built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customize